Where we go, George?
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to CB and the Boys with Crystal, CB Booker, George, Biker Boy Holman, Roger Hawkins, and Mimi Acosta. Coming live and direct from YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Blog Talk Radio, and Apple Podcasts. Bringing you hot topics, interviews, live entertainment, and fun every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central. And now, prepare to get charged up with a whole lot of fun from CB and the Boys.
Everyone, and welcome to CB and the Boys. I'm CB, and we have the fabulous Miss Mimi Acosta and Roger Hawkins and George Holman. Hey, everybody, how are you today?
What's going on, people?
Good. Right out in bushy tail.
Right. At night. Mimi, how you feeling?
Have a great.
I'm sorry. I just want to see how my sister's feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Everybody jump in there at once. How you doing?
Right.
I want to thank all the people for joining us out there on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for coming. We're glad to have you. We got an interesting show for you tonight, and Crystal is going to let you know what we got going on. CB?
Yes, we do have a great show tonight. Our topic tonight is, of course, a very intense topic, sexual assault, coerced sexual assault. So everyone look forward to that. We have some deep stories and people will be calling in, so look forward to that. We are going to have some music and we are going to dive right on in. So here we go. First up, we're going to do news, then we'll break off into our segments, and then we will hit the topic. Everybody got it? Okay, great. All right. So first up in the news, that was brought to our attention by fabulous Mimi. Some brothers in Texas allegedly beat their stepfather to death under allegations that he molested their 9-year-old sister. So, to me, in my opinion, I feel they did what they needed to do. It says here that brothers Alejandro and Christian Trevino, ages 18 and 17, they're thought to have beaten their stepfather, Gabriel Quintanilla, age 42, to death after he allegedly abused their half-sister, according to police in Far, Texas. Also, Juan Eduardo Melendez, another 18-year-old, is also charged in the crime. But personally, I feel that I would have done the same thing. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I would have beat the brakes off of them. Beat the brakes. I ain't got my hat's off to them because I'm sure they're not the first in that situation where others stood down and stepped to the side and didn't say nothing, and they stepped up and said, "Hey, this ain't right," and whooped his ass. And that's exactly what I would have done. I would have whooped his ass. Period.
All right.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, I was actually that little girl who had went through that same type situation. And it wasn't with my dad, but it was with uncles, and I do have 3 brothers. So when I saw that, that was boiling blood immediately. Like, I was like, release them boys right now. Because this is the thing, and this is what people don't understand. And for those of us out here that have gone through these situations when we were young, you literally kill somebody when you do that to them. Like, there is a part of us that you just have snatched. And, you know, I can't have the story of how I lost my virginity, or I lost it to my high school sweetheart, or, you know, like, there's just stories that I can't tell and I can't be a part of because, you know, I was snatched from a little girl. So when I say release them. Yeah, you know, they're gonna have to face something, because I know they're gonna have to face something. But at the end of the day, if these kids were all in the same house, watching this, experiencing this, and they were just up to like I'm not gonna take this shit no more, then that's just what happened. Basically, they snapped. You know, and I'm gonna tell you something. We all carry that snap inside of us. Just some of us just know how to hold it down, and some of us don't. Some of us know how to deal with it from day to day, month to month. I mean, every time I see something on TV, if I see a commercial, if I see something on social media, trust me, it strikes a nerve. And one of my reasons for not wanting to move back to the Virgin Islands is because of that. Because I am on snap mode at all times when it comes to those type family members that are still walking around, quote unquote, you know, thinking that it's okay, and have done this many times after me. So it's just one of those things where, you know, you snatch a soul when you do that. You know, you have lost people out here. You know, thank God for God and me in my faith and, you know, self-healing and counseling and talking to people and talking to like minds who have gone through what I've gone through, that I've been able to get through, because this is a everyday constant prayer type thing, you know. So that little girl's gonna have to live this for the rest of her life too, you know. So yeah, all I can say is prayers to all, and I pray that they do the best that they can do for these kids, because they're gonna need it. I don't think locking them up is the thing to do, though. I just think that they snapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justifiable, I would say. I guess that's what you call justifiable homicide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
He should have done to him what he did to someone. You technically took someone's life in another way. So, you know,
Yeah.
I don't think many people are going to feel that kind of a sympathy. So, you know, I'd put money on their books. How about that? I said it just because, you know, I can't imagine, but definitely, you know,
Right.
we'll unpack that in a little bit. So, like, hey, Mimi, I appreciate you sharing. And as you guys know, like later on, when we jump into it, that's going to come back to play. So much love for, you know, your story. Absolutely. Take the news.
Well, I've got some other interesting news as well. As if things can't get any crazier and crazy in crazy GOP land, they are now pushing a bill that would shield white people from experiencing any discomfort when speaking about teaching students or training employees about discrimination about, you know, from the past, like critical race theory, the sins of their past, basically. And this is spearheaded by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Big surprise. Which I think is totally ridiculous. So now it will be, if it passes, which we hope it doesn't, but as of Tuesday, it received its first approval. So I'm kind of shocked and worried. I don't think it would pass the House. I really don't. But, you know, the Senate, it definitely probably would. And it's sad to say. But, I mean, they're cowards. And I think that it's crazy that they are passing a bill to protect white people from being uncomfortable. I'm like, what? When I read this, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
My favorite word, they're cowards. You said it best. They are cowards, but that's what a coward does. That's what someone who breaks the rules to win does. That's what someone who wants everybody to be in one category and them an exception to the rule does. So you say you don't think it's going to pass. You realize in the past, decade, a lot of things we thought wouldn't occur have occurred. Political wise, nationwide on this, coast and others. So a lot of what we think is not real, it's no longer, just that. It's not mythological. It's actually reality. And so do I think it can pass? Absolutely. I think because they are so uncomfortable and there are so many people that have platforms, it's almost getting hard to walk anywhere without looking in the mirror, seeing themselves for what they are and what they've done. And the thing is, history is just that, it's his story. But the problem is when someone comes in with a correction and more fact that's proven, it becomes even more uncomfortable to get away from the lie that you told. Sadly, I do think it can happen. I think it's part of the great divide that it's been going on for a while. I legitimately think they want this to be a nation divided again, and they want it to be a meltdown from the inside out. So that the scary part is, I do believe it can happen. But I think it's hilarious because guess what? We as parents and we as educators and whatnot should be responsible for making sure that it gets taught more and more and more, regardless of who's uncomfortable. We don't make the rules, but rules are made to be broken. So I may develop a record here pretty soon because I'm not going to be quiet about it.
Right.
And the more uncomfortable they are, the better off feel. Shit. Uncomfortable, good.
They just now feeling uncomfortable. We've been uncomfortable all our life.
Right. But, for those that make the rules, they get to play by two sets. And it just is what it is. But no, I agree. You have to be an unsilent majority to have anything to get change to come about. So this is bad. People think we've come a long way, but we really haven't. It hasn't been 150 years, 200 years. Again, it's been since the 60s that we could walk certain places in a particular city. The 60s. We're not even talking about the 1600s. We're talking about the damn 1960s. And so if you think we've come a long way, to some degree, maybe, but not really. Not really at all. The way of thinking, the way of treating people, things like that. No, there's so much work to be done. And unfortunately, it's coming from one camp. And that particular camp is very uncomfortable because they're resting very uneasily on their perch. And they know that. And that's why they try to keep us a house divided. If you keep the family at odds, then they can't really focus on the main problems because you've got a lot of inner squabbling and things going on. That's exactly what it is. They know our power better than we do. And I've always said that. They realize our potential. We have to. And by we, I mean any group or faction that isn't part of that issue and that problem that's created all of these rules and double sets of rules and stipulations. We know who we're talking about. So do I think that can pass? Hell yeah, especially in Florida. And a lot of people are going to follow suit. It's going to take, unfortunately, some radical action to get things to fall back. Sad but true. And I mean, either you're prepared for it or you're going to fall victim to it. People take that for what it is, but it really is the truth.
Right.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my brother. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right.
But that's real. That's real. I mean, it's becoming, the times are getting rough, man. They're getting rough. They are. They're getting scary. I mean, following Crystal with your news. I don't know if you were going to speak on it, but just really, really quickly. I know, a lot of us don't get into foreign affairs, but right now we're at odds with Russia. I mean, for a lot of years there was the Cold War, and then we patched that up. We've had what's called an uneasy treaty in history, and now because Russia and Ukraine are beefing, there's military action about to be taken. They've actually started evacuating all American citizens that work at the U.S. Embassy, possible, which means something's about to pop. and they're not going to be able to get in and get these people out. That's major. If you understand that, if you really, really understand what that means, when you start to move in to a different territory, that means you pretty much let them know, hey, put everybody on alert. It's on. Because, of course, there's a lot of cyber hacking. There's a lot of things going on. Our safety is really an illusion in a lot of ways. Your safety, on the outside, your safety from the inside. They can take you down from the inside out. They hire people specifically to do this. I mean, it's really scary. So you have to be vigilant about your own safety. And that's not just somebody beating down your door, but that's on the computers that you're on your phones, what you do with your money and things like that. We have a false sense of security in this country, and it's going to take us down if we don't become, a lot more, again, vigilant about protecting ourselves and stop outsourcing, our security and things to just any and everybody. Who we got?
All right, Roger, let me interrupt you. Do you have a caller on the line? 702, you're on with CB and the Boys. Please state your name.
Sound like they hung up?
Calling? Nope, they're still there.
Oh.
Were you just calling to listen to the show? Because that's fine. I can go ahead and put you back on hold and you can continue to listen.
Cool. We appreciate it. All right. What's up next, boss?
Up next. Excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice tonight, y'all. Remnants of COVID.
All right, got a quick station ID. We're gonna take a quick pause for a station ID.
Be right back.
Pause for the cause.
If you're just joining the show, welcome to CB and the Boys. Brought to you by CB and the Boys Incorporated and World Radio LLC. You can catch us live every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central on Blog Talk Radio, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Facebook, and YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, back to CB and the Boys.
All right, and we are back. And you guys know what time it is. Y'all looking a little thirsty over there. So, of course, it is time for Mimi's Drink Special. What's on the menu?
Honey, yes, I was trying real hard to hold this shit down because we talking about stuff. And you know how we do. When we talk, I drink. And what happened was that wasn't happening. So I was about to look, when is my segment coming on? So guys, this is what I'm doing tonight. This is what I'm doing tonight.
She's back with it again.
Royale apple. Yes. See, last week I had the peach. This week I got the apple.
Sis, pour some of that on the microphone. Pour some through the microphone so I can get some.
Ain't no small glasses. I'm doing the big glass. Oh, I'll pour some into that water you're drinking right there.
Oh my goodness.
So that's what it is, honey. It's crown apple on this week. That's what it is, guys, and that's what I'm doing. So cheers to my brothers. My sister, where you at? Give me what you got.
Here.
Cheers.
Air. I forgot to get anything.
So in a little bit, she's gonna go AWOL.
I see the
she's gonna have to go
peachy.
get something. Okay.
I
So
see
we're
the
gonna rock it
peachy. Look at Raj. He got the peachy going on.
Yeah.
I told you I had some for you. So that's what's up.
I almost did it with you, but I was like, nah, I gotta change up this week. But it's all good.
No, hey, it's cool.
Look,
George always got to stand by.
I'm busted. You
should have left that shit in the wrap. You should have left it in the wrap.
Next commercial break, I'm gonna go put some Coke in it.
Right, he's giving up the ghost. He's giving up the ghost. That's crazy. It's all good though. I'm glad to see you healthy enough to get back to the norm, baby. I know you're still fighting it, but at least you're good enough to pour a little bit out with us. So that's what's up. You know?
Look, I'm pouring a whole lot. Okay, I'm getting them taste buds back. Damn it.
Watch out now. She said I'm
Right
pouring.
way.
I got my.
The right way.
She probably got a golden spoon and fork behind her back. Go pour that in. Ready for everything.
Look,
That's what's good.
Anyway.
I like it.
thank you.
Well, right on. Right on. Right on.
Nice.
Exactly. That's what's good.
All right, Roger, what's going on with the Chiefs? We are dominating. And
You know
so,
what?
with that said, it is time for Roger's Sports and Fitness. Roger's Fitbit. Let's go, Raj. What's up?
I'm here to tell you, I know it's regular sports and fitness and whatnot, but guys, look, you already know we're biased. That's why it's our show. We get to say what we want. That being said, this is going to be 90% Chiefs. Let's see. Tom Brady lost, so I was happy. You know, that's really all that matters. Since he won, so guess who we're going to see again? Mainly, guys, you know, we've got to figure it out. I'll be honest with you. Listen, I love my boys, but the secondary was absolute trash. It was. Deal with it. I mean, you young boys want to talk about it, we can. However you want. It was trash. We did make some great plays. The defensive front, fantastic. And number 24, Bolton, that young man is from Mizzou. This cat is tearing shit up. I mean, he wreaked havoc. I was super proud of that young man. There was a lot of good things happening on both sides. It really, really was on both sides. Okay. So that being said, man, it was amazing. Great. It was a really great game. I know everybody. I don't think there was a Bills or Chiefs fan sober in the whole country because everybody was on the. You let down. Then back up. Then you let down. And I don't stress. I don't get anxiety very often about anything. I found myself sending pictures of people going, I'm taking shots. I was taking shots of single barrel. my private stash.
Not Jack.
My private stash because
Jack single barrel.
I had to watch it by myself.
Wow.
I was like, it was a good one. A lot of great back and forth. It was definitely going to be. That's going to go down, in the football annals. It's a legendary game. So big ups to everybody. I was kind of pissy about the fact that everybody was running behind Allen and poo-pooing him and patting him on the butt and all that. Oh, it's, so upset. I'm like, listen, fuck him. Because when Brady did it to us, the whole overtime thing, nobody said a word. My thing is this. They vote on how to, play overtime and the rules and things like that. And my understanding is the Bills ownership group was like, we want to leave it as it is. Leave it so. So guess what? Live by it, die by it. I mean, it is what it is. There's got to be a winner and a loser in this. And you know what? That young man is very, very good. He will be around. 25 years old. He's not going anywhere. And he's very good. My hat's off to him. So y'all quit coddling him and patting him on the behind because he lost. Because shit, Pat took him out like my man. Hey, Coach Reed, I love it. Andy said, listen, everything looked grim. He said, you got to be the Grim Reaper. That's going to be a meme and a phrase from here on out. I mean, Mahomes is the Grim Reaper. So, guys, yes, we are excited, but we do have Cincinnati. I know some of us are a little concerned because of what happened the last time we played, but this would be a great rematch to actually, go ahead and take it back to the bowl. That being said, Frisco plays the Rams. That's going to be it's going to be a really, really good matchup as well. Both of those teams have some, some solid people. So they're going to bang it out because, again, they see each other a couple of times as well. Either way, that's going to be a tough one no matter what happens. I'm hoping we are playing one of them. And just imagine if we have to match up again with Frisco in the Super Bowl. That's going to be that'll be fireworks right there. Either way, that'll be fireworks. So that's really what's popping up. The Pro Bowl will be here next week, so in Vegas. So that ought to be interesting. I'm probably not going to drive around anywhere near downtown. It's going to be mayhem, but I think it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. So hopefully we'll be talking about playing one more week after this, people. So keep your fingers crossed. And for right now, that's our NFL recap. It was a great one. Let's keep it going, boys out there. Keep it going.
Hey, let me tell you. Let me slide in here and touch in on the great thing, though. The great thing that's going on. That and it was actually started by a Chiefs fan. you know, Josh Allen's mom died a couple months ago, and
Yes, understood.
he created a foundation for the children's hospital that she was affiliated with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
we had a Chiefs fan that started a drive that wanted everybody to donate $13, representing the game
Yeah, I
in
saw
that
that.
13 seconds, representing $13. Donate $13 to that organization. So, mind you, this game was Sunday. This happened Monday. Today's Wednesday, and they are right now sitting at $170,000 raised at $13 at a time for that foundation.
That's really cool. So you know what that proves is the you know the human spirit can do what it wants to do, and that's what's interesting. So when there are times when they say, "Hey, we can't do anything about it," yeah, we can. People pick and choose their motivation.
Right.
Again, nobody knows this young man, but they heard his story, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of other players that have done the same thing. And I'm not trying to detract from, you know, what was going on in his organization and things like that.
Right.
But like I said, we want things to be cool and fair and even across the board. It doesn't. And I also had a friend of mine just text me and give me some correction because I was ranting about this earlier. I'm like, man, get that dude and all that. Now, as far as his mom dying and all that, I hands down, I respect what Patrick Mahomes did with the running and hugging and things like that. He's a class act. Our quarterback is. A lot of people wouldn't have done that. Aaron Rodgers got his ass sent home because even though he's probably one of the best there is ever, he's not really classy. So you know, people unfortunately kind of judge you based off of certain things. His play on the field, he's a god, but you know, he's a hillbilly in a lot of ways. So that being said, Aaron Rodgers would have never done what Patrick Mahomes did. And that kind of is what sets him apart. You know, that's going to make him legendary. But anyway, my understanding is the Bills fans kind of started to donate to Patrick Mahomes' foundation as well. If that's really true, then you know what? Hands off to these guys. I hope they are setting a new example for how to be classy in the league again, because it's degenerated a lot of bit.
Yeah,
a lot of bit. I want them to have fun. But you know, you guys, you gotta represent. So that's really cool. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the sports for right now. Until we go to the Super Bowl, that's all I got.
And do you have any fitness tips for us? Any great exercises? Because I really want to work on my rear. You know, I want my butt. You know, booty pop. So what exercises do you recommend?
Look, you big bank Hank.
You gotta watch.
I ain't mad at you, mama.
You big bank Hank. Just go buy one.
I ain't mad at you, mama. Say it again. She said she wanted to make it pop. She didn't say shit about, let me do this. She said make it pop. That's the honesty I need, baby. So we're going to get back to, and again, this week's topic kind of had me tied up, but we're going to get back to some of the videos and whatnot. I promise you guys more videos are coming. But one of the things, everybody doesn't have a gym membership, so I try to do a lot that involves what you can do around the house or outside and things like that. That being said, you can just do, and I know we spoke about like wall squats before, just the stationary, post up against the wall, drop down into a seated position, time yourself, come back up. That's really, really good. But also there are things you can do. You can just do lunges, like just walking lunges, you know, walk, step out. And you know what, we'll get back to this. I'll make sure that I have a video for you in the very near future. Just walking lunges.
If I may say something about the walking lunges, because you're going to have a lot of women out here that are going to be like, my knees hurt, the knees this, the knees that, you know.
Yep, you're right.
It's really the over 40, 45, 50 crowd that's really, really, really trying to get
So thank you.
So,
I appreciate that, Mimi. Yes, I do. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show a variation. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to show a variation where it's not about how far down you can go, because even if you're doing it in the gym, you go as far as your body and your knees let you. Now, something I will say, you don't have to go down if you can go perpendicular, fine. I never advise going below perpendicular, i.e., if your knees and legs are straight, 90 degrees, that's okay. Once you go below that, you start to put a lot of pressure on the knee ligaments. You're right. So it's all about angles. You'll hear me say this over and over and over again. This is about angles. So go down as far as you can, hold it, pop back up. You can do this with a step. You can step into it, lunge a little bit, push back. And I'll show this again, so don't get confused. But that's a great one. You can do single leg lunges by holding a door at home. You can do alpine skiers there, or speed skaters rather. I'm sorry. So just again, we'll get back into some of these exercises that we can do, and you can work into a build-up. So nothing I'm saying do you have to do 100 of, or do you have to go super deep or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So I want to tell people that because I know people go, oh, I can't do 5 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 20. You do 3 sets of 4 until you can do 3 sets of 5, until you can do 3 sets of 10. It's a constant challenge. So that's just a squat and or a lunge. And you can just do regular squats with your body weight. If you hold your hands in your position, your back arch, and just go straight down, look up, because it keeps your frame in good position and alignment, and just look up, drop down slowly, look up. All of this is going to still work. And that's one of the best total leg exercises you can do.
And if
So
I
again,
may
to wear me
chime
out just
in?
talking about it.
Can I chime in right quick in that
What's
little
up?
fitness part right there with the lunges? That when you not the lunges, I'm sorry, but the squats. But when you come up, and this is for you since you really want to get that booty popping. When you come up, you want to hold your booty tight, and then like release when you go down. And when you come back up, hold it really tight, because that does some things.
Oh Lord, she gonna shit on herself.
Listen, I'm going to defer to my ladies when it comes to lady things, because I don't have lady parts. So Mimi says, squeeze your booty, squeeze it, like I said, because the way I squeeze them is considered a felony unless I get approval. So you squeeze your.
I got you.
And so lastly, real quickly, this is going to get people, but if you live near a hill or a mound, doesn't have to be steep or even steps. If you walk up the steps, you're using the front of your leg. Allow yourself to walk down slowly backwards. That alone is going to give you a total leg exercise. Turn around and try to walk backwards up the hill or the steps, and then come back down.
And do this.
What you're doing is
do this while you're going.
Do what Mimi's do, because I'm not doing it, but do what Mimi's do. Do the Mimi squeeze. We'll call it the Mimi squeeze.
I can demonstrate.
Oh Lord.
But I just really don't need the extra fan club. I just don't need it.
But always, baby, always.
I want to learn how to twerk. I should do a video of how not to twerk, because that's pretty much what my videos look like.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is where my expertise goes out the door.
Technical foul.
I can teach you how to. I can teach you how to long jump. I can teach you how to hurdle. I can teach you how to do a lot of things. That ain't one of them.
There's a foul on the
You
play.
can't teach us how to drop it like it's hot. Because right
Roughing the
now I
passer.
can drop it like it's lukewarm.
Roughing the passer.
No. Man, we're not doing
10-yard
that.
penalty.
Nope.
First down.
So for my ladies, we're going to get back to it. We'll definitely get back to some videos for legs in the coming weeks. I know that's what ladies like, but I'm not going to let you guys get away with working the other half of your body, because I know most of my ladies don't like doing things that involve the upper body, because your strength and muscles carried in your lower body, and that has to do with nature and nurturing. But I'm not going to let you get away with it. So
don't judge.
Then do one repeatedly until you can do 2. There's nothing you're going to say to me that's going to make me turn away from you. You can tell me you can do a half. I'll say, okay, hold it, and then release, go down slowly. I can show you how to do any exercise and get better. As a matter of fact, we've got video of it, but we haven't gotten it edited yet. So speaking of push-ups, that's coming next week. Anyway, thank you for the Mimi booty squeeze.
All right. Thank you. I can't wait to try it. And I will go for my second push-up. So look forward to that.
I'm sorry. We didn't mean to bombard your fitness segment.
No, I need it. I need it because I'm not a woman, so you got it. I love it.
Well, next
I love
up,
it.
this next song, this is by K. Michelle, and it's called Not a Little Bit. And when I tell you, this song should be the single woman anthem, I love this song. So here we go. K. Michelle, Not a Little Bit.
Let's go.
Well, today would be good. Here-
All that booty
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. It's done play. Well, that's right. I guess there
Knock
won't
it
be
out.
a song. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. So what's your okay? Oh, here it goes.
How'd I believe that your time would be different? How'd I believe that you changed? I wanted too much, so I said I could take it, but I couldn't handle the strain. Trying to be who you want me to be, yeah. Trying to make it okay. Trying to look at myself in the mirror. I couldn't go on that way. Gonna take a miracle this time to make me change my mind. I'm alone and doing fine, so I leave it all behind. I think I want you not a little bit. I think I need you not a little bit. I finally won't know I'm over it. If you think I need you not, think I need you not. If you think I want you not a little bit. You think I need you not a little bit. Finally won't know I'm over it. If you think I need you not, think I need you not. Love unconditional, love with no limits. Love lets me be myself. Love me forever with no competition. There's nothing and nobody else. Gonna take a miracle this time to make me change my mind. I'm alone and doing fine, so I leave it all behind. I think I need you not a little bit. I need you not a little bit. I'm over it. I think I need you not. Think I need you not. I think I want you not a little bit. I need you not a little bit. I'm over it. Think I need you not. Think I need you not. And this love is late to say. Going back was my mistake. And there can be no more next time you're around my life. I'm over it. You think I need you now? Think I need you now? You think I want you now? Think I need you now?
All right. K. Michelle, and Not a Little Bit. I'm telling you, everyone on Love and Hip Hop, I've been like going through and just checking out just the immense amount of talent that is on these reality shows. Because, you know, the main reason for them to be on these shows is to, you know, showcase what they can do and to really get themselves out there. You know, so I was listening to her stuff. She's been out for a long time, and she's got a lot of good songs. A lot of people are really sleeping on K. Michelle.
Yeah.
she definitely brings the drama on Love and Hip Hop, but there's no disputing this woman's talent. She has so much talent. And I love this song. I listen to it every day since I discovered it. So
what was the name of it again?
Like it?
Well,
Not a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay, so for the listeners out there, I'm getting a couple of text messages from friends. It's called Not a Little Bit. She can blow. I'm not a single woman, so whatever. I don't know anything about it, but my girl can warble. She can blow.
Yeah, she can.
She can blow. So she's a bad girl. She did a remix of it, like in the what's called Can You Stand the Rain? I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. It's provocative. It's kind of freaky, but boy, it makes you want to touch yourself. It makes you want to touch yourself.
Yes.
It's dope.
Ooh,
it's dope.
all that.
Shit.
We're talking about make you want to squeeze the booty.
We might play that one on the next break. All right. So, George, what's up in the business world? What tips do you have for us today?
All right. Well, check it out. I got it. It's going to be a quick one. This is a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am one right here. I got 3 little tips for us today. My first question to y'all are you teaching your team to be the best? So, this is what I mean. See, the leading cause of overworked among business owners is them not teaching your team. You know, so if you feel like you're doing all the work, and you probably are. And so, for example, like a law firm. Let's take a law firm. The best attorney in the law firm should not be you. If you're the best attorney in the law firm, then you're going to be doing everything. But yet, you want to teach your other attorneys to be better than you, and that's what's every field. When you got business going, and you're doing your trade, you want to teach everybody else to be as good, if not better than you. That's the way. That's the only way it's going to work smoothly. Everybody needs to know everything. You know, you got them owners that want to hold back secrets and hold back trades, and maybe make them feel like they're in control of something, but all they're doing is holding their self back and their business back. And the fact is, you want everybody to know and be as knowledgeable as you, if not more. That's only going to make your job easier. It's going to make the job easier of each of your team members, and it's going to make for a more successful business. Now, with that being said, my next question is, how many marketing strategies are you using? If your answer isn't 8 to 10 strategies, then something need to change. Because the fact of it is, your marketing strategy will generate about 10 to 15% of your leads, each strategy. So if you only have one strategy and you're only getting, and it gets 10 to 15% of your leads, and that, which isn't very much, but if you only have one and then you lose that one strategy, or that strategy falls off, or it's not working that well right now for this month or whatever, then you just lost 10 to 15% of your business, of potential business. But if you have 10 strategies, all generating 10 to 15% of your leads, then, you know, now you're creeping up to 100+%. And if you lose one or two strategies, or one or two strategies fall off for a certain, be it a certain time of year, a month, or whatever the case may be, then you don't lose as much of your leads. You won't feel that pain. You won't feel it as much as if you only had one or two. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Your marketing strategies, you got to have more than just one. Don't just have one way to market. You got to have more. You got to have 8 to 10 different ways to market. Marketing works like the law of averages. The law of averages with everything is 1 out of 10, 10 out of 100. You see 100 people, 10 people gonna bite. That's just the way it works. But Sometimes
Right.
you might see 50 people, because if you see 50 people, technically with that law of averages, you should have 5 people should bite, right? Well, you might see 40 before that first person bite, but then you might have 5 in a row. It's just going to work out. But you got to do the law of averages, and the law of averages won't work for you if you only got 1 or 2 marketing strategies. You got to have 8 to 10. And then on to the third. The next thing is, here's the biggest. This is huge. This is huge. Are you leveraging other people's money? You know, that may seem like an intimidating concept, but you've probably been leveraging other people's money your whole life. When I say leveraging other people's money, I mean like a good example, buying a house. Most people don't have the cash in their pocket to just go pay cash for a house. They get a loan.
Mm-hmm.
They get commonly known as a mortgage. That's somebody else's money. So you use somebody else's money to pay for that house while you pay that other person back. So you're leveraging that other person's money. Businesses is the same way. You got to find a way to leverage other people's money. Because if you try to do it all with your money, you're going to end up, unless you're a millionaire or a billionaire, then it's going to be all bad. It'll be all bad. It'll start out great, but it'll end up bad. You got to figure out how to leverage other people's money. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. You know, a lot of different organizations and business loans and different things out there to get money. You just have to do your research, find the ways to get other money, use other people's money, get investors and things of the sort. Equity investors, government grants, vending, landlord financing, all kinds of different things. But you've got to leverage other people's money. So with that being said, that's what I have for y'all tonight.
All right. And with that, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Ooh.
If you just joined in, don't you dare leave. I'm gonna give you something that'll make your blood bleed. Blog Talk and iHeartRadio, dude. Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and YouTube. The newest and the hottest podcast in the nation. Coming at you every week with some midweek motivation. Cell phone, PC, tablet, I don't care. No matter where you're at, we will reach you everywhere. Now back to the show. CB and the boys.
All right, and welcome back to CB and the Boys. So as you guys know, the movies are opening this week, and then I will briefly run through those. The first is A Taste of Hunger. It's about a couple that sacrifices everything to achieve the highest possible accolade in the culinary world, which for them in this film is a Michelin star. It stars Catherine Grace Rosenthal, Nicolau Coster-Waldau, and Flora Augusta. So everyone check out A Taste of Hunger. Also opening is Clean, and this stars Adrian Brody. Tormented by his past, a garbage man named Clean, how ironic, Clean attempts a quiet life of redemption, but soon finds himself forced to reconcile with the violence of his past. So it's a thriller. So if you like thrillers, you're going to enjoy this one. And last up is The Requiem, starring Alicia Silverstone. And it is so good to see her back on the big screen. And if you guys know who she is, but she got her big break when she did Clueless. She played the star of Clueless, Cher. So in this one, a couple on a romantic getaway find themselves stranded at sea when a tropical storm sweeps away their villa. In order to survive, they are forced to fight the elements while sharks circle below. So this one is also a thriller. It's a story of survival. And if you want to know if they survive, check out the rec one. So it's really cool. If you see the poster, if you guys search it up, it shows this gigantic shark about to eat someone. So you can imagine how thrilling this one's going to be. Kind of reminiscent of Jaws a little bit, but it's a good film. So these are the three.
That sounds a little bit like
that
sounds a little bit like Deep Water. Do you guys remember that movie?
I do.
I was freaking sick to my stomach the whole damn shit in two people in the water the whole damn movie. That's like that's like a $1,000 budget. But anyway, go, Mama, because I'm pissed off about it. I still get pissed off every time I talk about that damn movie.
All right.
And it probably made about I don't know, a couple 100,000 or even $1 million just based on the fucking trailer. You know?
Yeah.
That's a winner.
Sometimes the trailers are better than a whole film, which, is disappointing, but and sometimes
that's when they put the best parts of the movies in the trailer.
It's a great marketing strategy to just do the best in the trailer, and then you end up going to the bullshit, and it becomes like the number one box office hit. You want to know how?
Yeah.
Anyway,
but sometimes the scenes you see in the trailer don't end up in the movie, and so you're searching like, well, where's this scene? Well, that didn't happen. Well, where's that? And you sit there like, damn, they tricked us again. So definitely check those out. Definitely.
You talking about Blair Witch Project?
Right.
Man. Oh my God. I'm telling you, that was $1,000 budget, and somebody's walking around with $900 in their pocket because it probably took them $8,000 literally to make that. I was like, this is ridiculous. But the thing is, when you're watching it, you can't turn away. It's like even when, like, the worst movie that I saw was about a tire that was rolling around killing people. That was the worst film I have ever seen. And I literally watched the whole thing.
Roger, what's wrong?
What would possess you to watch something like that?
It was on Channel 41. I lived in Kansas City. It was one, like sometimes, I don't know if they still do it, but back in the day on Channel 41, they would show all of these, not even B movies, I would say E movies. And when there was nothing else on, Elvira was on. It was one of the films that was on when Elvira was on. And the tire was from space. It was an alien tire, but it was a tire. And I think the film was either called Rubber or Tire. It might have been called Tire, but it was the worst film I've ever seen. Because it would just roll around, and if the tire looked at you, your head would explode.
So the fact that you said Elvira, this was on at her time, and you still remember this movie, you were truly traumatized. You had to be truly traumatized by this movie.
Did you finish it? Did you finish the movie?
I did. It was stupid.
Hell yes, you did. Come on, Roger. That's a dumb question.
That's 2 hours of your life you're never going to get back, and it's your fault.
Yep.
That's 2 hours of your life.
But you know what? When you start watching a bad movie, you continue to watch it because you're waiting. You just know something good has got to happen in this movie. You're like, wait a minute, this movie is not this bad. It's like something has got to happen, and then nothing ever happens. And at the end of it, you're like, what the fuck?
Yep.
No.
That's what it was. That was definitely my WTF moment. I was like, I can't believe I sat and watched it. And
I'm having it right now, just listening to you recall.
It's the concept of the whole film. It's like, why did they even make it? You know how like sometimes you see some movie, you're like, why did they even waste their time? Why?
Yo,
You know,
You know what it is, though?
tired rolling around killing people.
The fact that somebody took the time to make that entire movie and submit the shit. Somebody in that, it had to have been somebody's cousins, brothers, somebody that was like, you know what? They took the time to make this shit. Let's put this dumb shit out there because at the end of the day, you gotta have good and bad.
Here's what's crazy. They're probably, depending on how they did it, their union or whatnot, they might be collecting royalties off that garbage. So it really is a win in the end. Believe it or not. I mean, that's horrible.
Roger, we gotta make our own fucking CB and the Boys horror flick or some shit. Maybe a horror on the cruise.
I guarantee you we're better writers than that would. And you know we know what we're doing. So yeah, hey guys, gotta look out. We dropping some shit next summer.
Hey, we know what's going on. Mimi, you got a whole degree in it, so we already winning.
I'm saying, no, we won already.
Right.
All I'm saying is we're about to be on a cruise. Folks are jumping off cruises and doing dumb shit. If you're gonna have two people do a movie like Deep Water and it's just two folks and it's four of us, we got this shit.
Yeah.
We just need the pool. We just need the pool.
And you can go back into the old 80s horror genre. We can bring it back. Here's the problem. You know, we don't fall in movies. I don't know about other people, but we don't fall in movies. So, you know, y'all might have the killer might just turn to the camera and go, I can't catch that fool, and then do something different.
Hey, I mean, you know, it's gonna be jacked up because I'm gonna tell you, as a rule of thumb, if the black man don't die in the first 5 minutes, he ain't dying at all. He's gonna be the last one to live.
Right, we either gonna make it. We either gonna or we gonna make it to the end. Yep.
It's gonna be one of our guests. What's our homegirl again? Who's gonna be bringing all the liquor? CB.
Wow.
She might be the one to die first.
Hey, not somebody got liquor. Then she exactly. That's wow. Nice.
You know, we're gonna have access to the cabin.
Right. Give me the key, and then you go get whatever. Hey, George, you get that? I want to thank my girl Jay because she actually looked it up and sent it to me from YouTube. So I'm sorry, I just wasted a bunch of time in your life, but thank you for that. Looking out, the movie actually showed up, which I'm really ashamed to say it did. Anyway, we might get a screenshot or something to post it. I won't put George on the spot, but I kind of will. So we'll see what happens.
Let me break in and say it is not a recommendation. If you can afford, don't waste your time. But if you're really bored and that's the only movie, then waste your time.
You talk about being a crazy critic, man. Tear that one apart. But listen, I can admit that I'm a fan of Pootie Tang, so there's that. I mean, you got to be high or drunk to watch Pootie Tang.
One thing about it, when you think of movies like that, like Pootie Tang and movies like that, Spaceballs, they weren't meant to get, Oscars. They were made for comedy, and they did what they set out to do.
And
but in this
and
with a rolling tire killing people, it is a cult classic, which is crazy.
That's what they do. You're right.
Rolling around. Killing people. But, so now when I look at my car, I'm like,
Okay, see, stop. Now you didn't just bomb it all the way in. Just don't tell me your car worries you. Stop it.
We don't even want to put that into existence.
Look,
all tires should worry you. After seeing that movie, trust me.
I'm gonna need y'all to hold that thought.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No.
I'm mad already. I'm mad already.
No.
Hey, rolling while black. Oh God. Oh yeah. This is
Everybody.
terrible.
This is what our killer looks like. Tired.
That shit wonderful.
Come on.
What brand of tire?
Probably brandless.
There's always time for a love scene.
Yes. Is it black?
I'm starting to like it.
Door just open.
Come on, be a good boy. Blow my head off.
Again.
Come on, closer.
You get one of you guys with a flamethrower, just
Anybody there?
Oh my God.
All right.
Sorry, taking a shower.
All right. All right.
Okay, we good.
Yeah, rubber. I was
Okay.
right. I knew it's called rubber and tire.
All right. We're gonna have to watch and review one day, just because we committed to it now, guys. We're gonna have to watch it one day. I will not be sober, but we will watch it. Oh man, that's low. That's low.
I got a question.
Oh gee.
I got a question.
I bet you do.
I have a question. Who in the hell signs up to be on this script?
You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. Mimi, tell him. He'd be amazed who signs up to do anything on
I
camera.
mean,
I'm gonna tell you something. First of all, it's gonna be like this. We're about to do this movie. It's a trial. We're gonna see what happens. So what happened was you're gonna get credit, food. We're gonna give you $25 to show up and just come on out, have a great time. You're gonna meet wonderful people. Let's make it happen. And people are gonna be like, okay, I want to do it. Everybody gets on. That's it. And guess what? How many years ago did this shit happen? What year was that they made it? 20 years later, we're looking at a dumbass movie on CB and the Boys.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But that's terrible. That's horrific. That's horrific.
JJ.
So as actors,
I'm sorry,
you guys
JJ.
audition for this?
Hell yeah, I would.
You know what? Here's the thing. You can look at it, and like we talked about earlier, like a Mel Brooks movie or something like that. If you really have the foresight to understand how people think, okay, listen, cult classics, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Pootie Tang, Spaceballs, you're 100% right. CB said it earlier. No matter how the worse they are, the better they are. It's almost like a dog, like an animal that's so ugly it's cute. The movie is so bad it'll never leave you to the day you die. So there is a weird brilliance behind doing something like that. You just can't take yourself too seriously, which is like that whole thing reminded me of Reno 911, like the speaker around the neck and all that. So if you think about it, I mean, you know, they were like, oh, this is gonna be a train wreck. I'm in. So if you don't take yourself seriously, it will be fun. It will be fun. The worse, the better.
Right. Yeah.
So have a train wreck though.
Man, it's crazy. It's just really crazy.
Man.
You wanna-
You know,
wait a
sometimes
minute,
how you say like
You want to
some
hear
things
something?
you cannot unsee.
You want to hear something?
Right.
You want to hear something even crazier? we just got
What?
a copyright strike for that shit.
Are you serious? Wow.
They should be
It popped up
paying
on my
us
screen.
for pulling that bullshit up. We should get like a check and an invitation to breakfast for that. All right, fair enough.
We get
Wow.
too much attention on our show.
You know what? I'll take that hit. I'll take that hit.
That's a good hit.
We'll take that hit.
Funny.
Yeah, we'll
It is
we'll
funny.
take the hit.
Right. That's all we can do.
All right.
I run.
All right, guys. I got one more song coming up for you, and then we will dive right into our topic. We may go a bit over, but this is an important topic. So here is K. Michelle and The Range. Maybe. Maybe not.
You got it, sis. Come on.
Fix your 8-track. Shit.
All right. Any day now. But just picture, this, can you stand the rain? And then you got K. Michelle singing,
You sure right. You sure right. Yes, just trying to get out. Got to
So that's not gonna happen right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing K. Michelle. Tonight I'm feeling sexy. I can make you overdose, make it overflow with you. Like a river, my waterfall to break down on the lake. You gon' get soaked, but bring the raincoat. When we finish, you gon' see a rainbow. Come swim, my water's like a sailboat. You just make it love in it like Nemo. Come sip on it, it's I drip on it. You gon' have to change my name to A2. You love it when I call your name. Daddy, daddy. You love it when I make it right. Daddy, daddy. Gone will come. Hey. Can you stand the rain? When we get done, I still want some more. Can you make it rain? I can get it wetter than a thunderstorm. Make love from the midnight to the early morning. Waking you up like some Folgers in your cup. That morning brew, that's what I do. Yeah. Baby, can you play deep? Diving in the ocean while you're in the sheets. What stroke do you got for me? No, I'm trying to drown you. You love it when I call your name. Daddy, daddy. You love it when I make it right. Daddy, daddy. Come will come. Make me overflow. Can you stand the rain? When we get done, I still want some more. Can you make it rain? Every time you pull up, boy, it's the night away. Ooh, she get wetter, we drip the night away. Boy, it ain't no rush, take your time with me. Boy, I love when you keep it right there. No, never ever stop. I'm gonna ride, baby, it's you and I. Through the good and bad, I'ma be you by the side. And when the storm comes and the rain falls, we'll be making up. We'll be making up. Can you stand the rain? Can you stand the rain? Get done. I still want some more. I still want some more. Make it rain.
Told you guys that was the song. Taya folks are sleeping on K. Michelle. She's got some really good songs. She really
not bad at all. And you know what? Look, she's had some really great songs since Forever Time. But this is the thing, and I love her dearly because I am so a fan of hers. but I think that she has outdone herself in a crazy way in the industry, not only with the men that she's dated, but the drama and the constant stuff and the family stuff. And, it takes weight on the industry, a lot of weight when it comes to that type of stuff, and you're dealing with artists. So she's doing really, really good for herself anyway, because that's she did her part. In this industry, you run your race and you continue winning on the levels that you're going to win on. And not everybody's going to be for you, and you just got to keep going. Like, that's where she's at. She's not the, I heard when you said earlier, sis, oh, they're sleeping on her. No, she had her run. And she had her run really, really good and did all she's going to do to receive residuals for as long as she lives, because her music is awesome. So all she needs to do is continue making music, continue making those residuals, continue doing her tours and her talk shows and her stuff that she's, because at the end of the day, as an artist, just like actors, you run your course and then you start doing other things. Like Rihanna, she got her makeup line and clothing and this and that. Like, you got to be able to set up different avenues. So when you decide, you know what, I'm going to take a break from music, you still have makeup, hair, jewelry, all kinds of shit going on. So it never stops. But she's awesome. I love that little chick. Love her. Absolutely love her. But she's a little hot like some of us are.
That's that 8 to 10. 8 to 10 marketing strategies. 8 to 10.
Ready to squeeze it in, George. There you go.
Reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself.
I like it. I like it.
Definitely. All right, and with that, we'll be right back after a word.
Hey everybody, it's me, CB. Join us every Wednesday for your Midweek Motivator, offering you conversation, motivation, music, laughter, and a whole lot of fun. So tune in. Let's talk. Join us as we shake things up and talk things out. CB and the boys. Join us for your Midweek Motivation. See ya.
Wow. I wonder whose voice that was. That was pretty awesome. Anyway, so as you guys know, I mean the 2.1, but
Don't do it to her. Don't do it to her, George. Don't do it to her.
I'm telling you, the tremendous talent that we have on this team is just amazing. Yeah. All right, so as you guys know, hey, that's a win. That is a win. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm gonna roll this over to Roger. You have an amazing story to tell on behalf of someone, and I'm going to hand it off to you.
Right on. Appreciate it. Really quickly, I know, guys, we always have a good time here, and that's what I love. We laugh. We talk about a lot of things. Right now, I need for everyone out there listening to me to really hear me. Hear what I'm saying and then listen and let this really sink in, because a lot of people are going to be able to relate. And I hope in telling this, some people decide to kind of make a change in their life. So with that, I'll do this. Of course, like CB said earlier, our topic is basically coerced sexual assault, coerced sexual agreement, all that to say what it boils down to is coercion is just that. It's unwanted sexual activity that happens when someone's pressured or tricked or threatened or even non-physically forced by way of threats or something to that effect. A very, very close friend of mine asked me to tell this story, so bear with me, please. Just let me get through this, because I really want you guys' feedback. I want to know how you feel and what you think, but I need you to understand this. So for someone to ask me to tell their story, it weighed really heavily on me. So by all means, stay with me. We'll just say this young lady who I met a while ago, we've gotten a chance to work together and things like that. And when you're in small groups, you become close. and you start to learn more about one another. And she felt that she could be close enough to divulge some things. This young lady was assaulted on multiple occasions. So for some people that have gone through maybe a time or two, and by multiple occasions, I mean at various points in life, as a child, maybe as a teen, as an adolescent, that's a lot to come back from. So let's just say, imagine, again, much like my sister Mimi said earlier, imagine if you're a child and you have to choose between letting yourself be assaulted or someone threatening to hurt or kill you or a family member or a friend. As a child, you don't know whether they're being serious or not. And so what do? Now, a lot of people say, I would have done X, Y, Z. But what would you really have done if you're a young child and you've got an older adult, someone you trust? See, this is the thing about acquaintance rape and about coerced sexual, activity. We almost always, the people know, the perpetrator. More than 80-90% of the time, the individual that does it in some fashion. There are occasions when someone comes and, you may get grabbed if you're jogging or in the parking lot or things like that. Yes, it happens, but the majority of the time, these things happen from someone we know and usually trust. She's had several instances, and it was mind-boggling. One of the stories that she told us and told me was, at a party. And I need you ladies to hear me. I say ladies, I know it happens to young men too, but I say ladies because the overwhelming number of attacks and assaults happen to women. So I need you guys to hear me and understand that there are some ways to protect yourselves. And I hate to even say that because you shouldn't have to. We should be your protectors. And unfortunately, the number one threat to women is men, which is a damn shame. But again, she's at a party, a little, in her, late teens, early 20s, goes to the bathroom alone, comes out, someone who had seen her, maybe spoken earlier, they didn't know each other well, but they knew each other well enough, grabs her, pulls her into the room. He starts to attack her. Now, my thing is, I never want to be disrespectful, so I let her tell the story. And of course, I go, well, did you try to fight back? Yes, I tried to fight back. Did you yell, say whatever? The music is too loud. Do you guys see a pattern? There's a setup that's occurring. The music is loud. No one can hear. And eventually she said, I made a choice. Is he going to hurt me or kill me? Should I just let it happen? She ended up with bruises, a black eye, and she just decided to allow it to happen so that she could get out of the room. Now, I'm never going to judge anyone that's been in a position that I've never been in. But I can only imagine what may have been going through her mind when she's thinking, this guy is drunk. He's physically much larger, stronger. I'm being beaten. And then what ends up happening is they say, oh, I don't know. I don't remember. So I asked the question everyone wants to know, well, why didn't you report it? Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you go downstairs and blah, blah, blah? Well, this was a long time ago. And not that means anything, but it means something. Like the way that we see things now, we have a lot of social media, and the world has gotten smaller, and the advent of a lot of programs that allows people to feel safe. They're prevalent. They're everywhere. They weren't so much back in the day, the 80s, the 90s, the 70s. They weren't there. It was very difficult for a woman to say something like that, prove it, especially if they go, well, you put yourself in that position, so on and so forth. And she's told me of a couple of other incidents, and I asked, what did you do? Well, from the time the molestation happened as a child, I think it became ingrained that you have to defer to someone of power. You see how that can drag you your whole life? And so, when you're thinking you're doing the right thing because you want to protect whoever you love, or you don't want to bring shame to your family. These are all reasons that young ladies have given for the duration of time, for generations, because I didn't want anybody to know. I was ashamed. I didn't think anyone would believe me, because oftentimes they're not believed. Well, you put yourself in that position. This is what happened. And then lastly, this young lady, even and somewhere she was supposed to be safe, a work environment, supposed to be around people, she's grabbed yet again. What do you do if someone grabs you from behind, covers your mouth, covers your nose? You can't scream. And then if it's someone in a higher position, you really can't turn them in because you'll be the blame. You'll be the pariah. You'll be, fired, let go, maybe jailed. It broke my heart to hear that these things continuously happened over time. And I would always want to know, well, where was your family? Where were your friends? Who was around? And she said, I couldn't tell them because, like so many women, if I tell my mother, it would kill her. If I told my grandmother, it would kill her. If she found out it was someone in our family, it would destroy her. It would destroy the family because someone would go take revenge. And now we've got people in jail, other people that may not be here anymore. And it's all because of me. You see the blame that they began to put on themselves for something that happened to them that was completely not in their doing. And so we've talked about it a couple of times. I never pushed, I never provoked, but I was very, very curious to know, how things ended up. Here's what's interesting. I think she's been seeing a therapist for quite a while, but this individual has a very good spirit. And I said something I don't say to very many people. Two things. I'm not overly impressed or, or like taken aback or awestruck by a lot of people because we're all here together to do the same thing. I am so impressed by this young woman because I asked her flat out, I said, why don't you hate men and why don't you hate sex? And she said, why would I punish another man for something that someone else did that had nothing to do with them? And it takes a lot to blow my mind. The top came off. I was like, damn. I was like, you're a superhero. You should have a cape. And I was not exaggerating. You know how many people I know hate the opposite sex or whatever because of something that happened, something that was done to them, and they can never escape it. And it just made me that much more curious to continue to converse with this woman and continue to find out what made her tick. I was like, you're an amazing individual. And I don't use that term lightly because to be here where you are, and she's mentioned like a lot of people, she several times thought about ending her life. Things got rough. You become a single parent. You just cannot seem to get on track. She's had lots of reasons. She's faced homelessness. She's faced a lot of adversity. And somehow, some way, here you are. I never question why I meet people. I never question why I encounter anyone. It doesn't matter the situation, what it looks like. This is why. And of course, that made me just that much more interested in seeing what can I do? What can I say? What can I do? I mean, considering this isn't my area of expertise, but like I said, I'm a great listener, and I can make a phone call, and there are options. And so we talked about a little bit at a time, sometimes with our groups and sometimes, individually, maybe after work or after, someone was in class. And here's what I learned. When you don't know any differently, you can't do any differently. Even sexual assault can be a generational curse, like alcoholism, like drug abuse, like domestic abuse. This can be a generational curse. If you've seen a parent being abused in some way, you think it's normal. It becomes your norm. And so to break that curse takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of help. It takes being able to dig deep. And I say all that to say she asked me to speak about it because she said maybe, hearing about my story can help someone else come forward because they don't feel so alone. They don't feel like I'm the only one this has happened to. I can't imagine being a small child or a young child and having to make a choice. Do I allow this person to touch me or make me touch them and do things, or they're going to threaten to harm someone I love? I can't imagine someone against my will making me continue to do something that I didn't ask for. And so my heart went out. But in this particular case, there was kind of a silver lining, and this is going to sound crazy, but I've never heard it before. We spoke one time, and I think because we do talk and I legitimately listen, and it's not like, what can I get and things like that. I do think that there's a huge amount of respect on both of our parts, and when we see that, hey, we're out here doing our own thing, you can develop a level of admiration for someone's, drive and someone's heart and strength of resolve. And I told her, I said, hey, listen, you know what? You've got to let that go when you were younger. And here's why. I go, I promise you, in the same situation, I would have done the same thing. I have no idea why she decided to say, she told me you freed me. She said, because I feel like it's you, being you. And I suppose you see us at our age and where we are now in the world, and you go, wow, this person's gotten to this point, doing some things right. And she said, now that I understand that, you know, you would have probably done the same thing, she was like, I can let it go. Not a lot gets me. Not a lot, you know, puts me to that point where I might lose it. But that was, I know what to do with that. That's all. That's really the equivalent of you kind of saved my life. And I don't want a reward. I don't want anything about that. But the fact that this woman's carried this for decades, and she could say, I can finally let at least that particular part go. I don't know about the rest. But all I can say is, hey, no matter what, not your fault. No matter what, you didn't ask for that. No matter what, you didn't deserve that. But that particular episode, when she said, you know what, I can let it go, you freed me from that. It was tough for me to stay composed. I don't know what effect any of us have on people until they tell you. So when someone tells you you've done that, all you can say to yourself is, I'm so glad I woke up. I'm so glad I ran into you. I'm so glad we had this conversation. It was tough. And it stung to be there and hear it. Because on behalf of I've got sisters, daughters, a wife, a mother. We've all got people in our family. And you think to yourself what you would do if you thought you knew about something like that. But here's the thing. How would you react if you were never told? Because someone was trying to protect you from something, whether it be hurting yourself or getting hurt or incarcerated, then you feel helpless. You've taken my power away by not allowing me to protect you. And so, you know, to my girl out there, thank you for allowing me to talk about this to people, because, you know, again, every day I kind of shake my head and go, I don't know how you've overcome this on multiple occasions. And to have the disposition that she has, it boggles me. But I told her that was your armor. A lot of us had armor. We have our own version of our shield. We protect ourselves the way we do. Some people withdraw into themselves. You know, you become antisocial, you become angry, you keep everybody in arm's length. This person is the complete opposite. And she's had a similar upbringing to a lot of us, whether it be, you know, within the church or, you know, her family was old school and they taught certain old school values and things like that. But I think she found a way to block that off, disassociate that with the rest of her life. And it allowed her to kind of, if you will, function normally in society without looking like what was really happening. It's an amazing thing. And so what I'm saying to everyone out there, you know, that's experienced this, is you have to find a way to free yourself. Otherwise, you're going to go your whole life really living as a fraction of yourself. And I mean, there are lots of stories. I have friends that are therapists, and they talk about people that come in at 70 years of age and older, and they have similar stories, and they've never told anyone until it's amazing. You get to a point in your life where you're like, okay, you know what? No one ever knew this happened. And it kills me that people want to start living at that point. So if this makes anybody braver, by all means, listen, call in there. There are numbers. Whatever you need, if you need to call us and get a specific number, please do. If you need to text or email us individually, please do. Because no one should ever have to make that decision, ever. You should never have to choose whether you think your sister or your aunt or your mother lives or dies because someone in your family is on drugs, someone in your family has been abused, and usually people that do the abusing have themselves been victimized. When I say it's an ongoing thing, it's a generational thing, it's a vicious cycle, it is. And as much as it may hurt, and as hard as it may be, people have to step up and speak on it. And I'm going to double down on that and say, listen, if you were kind of like a lot of us in the old days and you heard, hey man, you know, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That's bullshit. If you have to convince anybody of anything, they don't want to do it. Has anyone ever gone somewhere you didn't want to go? Were you dragged to a play? Were you dragged to an opera, to church, to anywhere, and you didn't want to go? How'd you feel the whole time you were there? You didn't want to be there. Now imagine having more freedom, liberty, and possession of yourself taken away against your will, and you don't want to be there. Think about that. And so for anybody who's bragged or talked about talking someone into it or convincing them, you know, I need you to make it right with that. And if you can call, I don't give a shit if it's 30 years from now or if it's been 30 years. If you can reach out, you beg forgiveness. Because my opinion is whatever you did to someone, you should have done to you. I mean that in all sincerity. And I hope I'm making somebody mad. Because believe it or not, there are states where it is legal to kill someone if you witness a sexual assault. Don't want to encounter that, but I would love nothing more. I think pedophiles, I think rapists, I think the worst of the worst. Go to prison and find out. So not to get on that bandwagon, but I'm just saying I really want to, you know, I really hope that this is falling on someone who was on the fence. If you're on the fence about it, please don't be. I don't care if it happened 20 years ago. That's something that needs to be rectified. It needs to be addressed. Why should someone else live their whole life free and clear and you're in chains? You're literally in bondage. Know that you can't get back what they took from you, but you can do something about it. There can be some resolution. Until you get that out, it's just it can poison you. It really, really can. And that's why, Mimi, I'm so, sweetheart, I'm so damn proud of you because you didn't have to do that. It had nothing to do. You didn't have to do anything about that. But rest assured, you know you're protected by us. And I feel like that about anybody I know. You know, you're damn sure protected by me. I can't, you know, I just can't deal with it. So, you know, by all means, if you guys have anything to say, if you want to weigh in, if you have questions, if you need answers or access, please call in because, like I said, to see this woman thriving after the majority of her life literally just being trapped in one fashion or another, trapped. A lot, you know, one small misstep can put you in a world of hurt. And sometimes we do what we want to, other times we do what we have to, because you're not old enough or strong enough to get out of your situation. And people take advantage of us all the time. People take advantage of young people. People take advantage of vulnerable, of weak people, of people that don't have the finances. Predators study their prey. They do. Yeah. They study their prey. That's why it's a rare bird that you hear, oh, this happened. No, predators they know what you're doing. They know they watch your body language, your emotions, your responses and go, that's my target. And we oftentimes don't even know it. So what you all have to understand is it's okay. Another quick story is I dated a young lady in college who had been date raped. Now here's the difference. Here's why so many ladies don't speak. She was with her boyfriend. They had sex. After they had sex, he wanted to have sex again. For whatever reason, she did not want to. I believe it involved other people coming in and out of the room, or she was uncomfortable, whatever the situation was. But he, assuming that this is my girlfriend, said, we're going to do it anyway. Guess what? The minute someone says, no, I don't think so, I'm not sure, it becomes 100% no. There is no 20% no or 50% no. So it becomes 100% no. And so he proceeded to do it anyway. You know what that is? It's rape. I don't give a damn if you're married. Yes, married people can be raped by their spouse. When someone says no, that's it. I was so afraid of, I never wanted to, when I was a young man in high school, college, I never wanted there to be any confusion. If someone even thought about, I'm not sure, all right, we're going home. You know, I need you to be 1,000% sure. I need you to know 100% this is where I want to be, or we're not going to be there. It's not that serious. It's never that serious. You know, there's at this point almost 8 billion people on the earth, of which probably 51 or 2% of people are the opposite of me. I promise you there are options. Some people don't have that self-control, though. So I think, you know, to people like that, again, they should have it done to them. It happens. We got a message really quickly. Let me break it up because Jay texted in and said some men don't realize that they've coerced a woman into sex because they bragged about it, even though she said she really meant she said no, she really meant yes, is what we've heard. So I will address that. Yes, we grew up, George and I, you know, understand that growing up, the whole corner talk and the older guys talking things like that. It was kind of a bragging rights kind of a thing. You know, oh man, she wanted it. It's almost like they're convincing themselves so that if someone approaches them, they can say, oh yeah, she wanted it because XYZ. Well, maybe she didn't try to stab or kill you or do whatever. But once again, I don't know of many women that can withstand or there are some people that say, hey, I would have done this, I would have done that. You don't know what you would have done until you're in that situation. So please don't do that. And by nature, we are severely outmatching you in strength. It's just the nature of the business. You can have children, we can bench press more. Deal with it. But it breaks my heart when people are in that position, unintentionally. This is why you go to the bathroom with a girlfriend. Let us tease you about that. You go with the woman. This is why you avoid loud parties and going upstairs to the bathroom by yourself. This is why you avoid that, because there's always going to be someone who's on the lookout to see if there's another opportunity. I know the stories are just they run rampant, and it sucks that that's the case. But I'm just here to tell you all that there are men out there, not only that, understand and will never do that, but that will defend you, no matter what the situation is in a case like that. I hope to never have to encounter somebody doing things like that, because I know what the end result will be. But I'm just saying, I need my ladies to step up, be brave, do what Mimi did. I'm not saying you have to do it here tonight, but someone needs to know, you need to heal. You guys have so much life to live, and you can't live it if you're still harboring this. I think, technology is good, and it's a wonderful thing, and it can be terrible. It's allowed people to not be ashamed anymore. It's allowed us to be desensitized to what used to be taboo. It's allowed us to come forward because we realize so many people have the same thoughts, actions, processes, and occurrences. And because of that, you go, I'm not alone. That's the biggest thing in the world, is when you feel like you're alone when something happened to you. I promise you, whatever you can think of has happened to lots and lots of people. So because of that, take a little solace in knowing that, you know what? I'm not weird. I'm not the anomaly. I'm not the freak. I'm a normal person. Good shit happens to bad people. Bad shit happens to good people. Don't ever forget that. Yeah. The laws of the universe say life isn't fair. It's really the truth. But I just want anyone who's dealt with this, man, woman, or child, please be encouraged and know, we got your back. This is super, super serious to me, in case you guys didn't know. So whoever's out there, trust me, I love you. I love you for who you are. I love you for still being here, because I know how many of you have thought about ending it for whatever reason. But you're not the victim. You're not the villain. You're the victim. And you can take that away and stop being the victim and be the victor by taking your life back. Don't let somebody else have your life. Take your life back. If I got to help you do it, I'll do it. I've asked my children, I've asked my girls, I have 2 girls and my son, but I've asked them, hey, would you guys tell me if something happened? They said, yeah. Now, I want to believe that, but they also know their father. So I hope if they did, I hope at the very least, tell your mom, call an aunt, call someone. Because the thing is, if I do find out, I'm taking everybody out, and then I'm coming for you for not doing it. They know that, and they know, look, I can do a little bit of a bid. I need the people that I care about to always feel like they're covered and protected. And so I feel like it was kind of my good fortune to meet this woman. No, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to hear or to know that. And some of this stuff, for me, I was looking around like, whoa. But you know what? That was my good fortune, not hers. I know she probably feels like that, because sometimes you have no idea what effect your words have on people. And so again, for what she said to me, it's amazing. Everybody wants to change somebody's life. You really do. Every one of us wants to hear somebody go, because of you, I'm this, or because of you, I'm not gone. And that's not something I asked for in that respect. But again, to quote unquote set somebody free, to say that's it falls weirdly to me. But that's what I was told. And all I can say is that's probably the greatest compliment I've heard in a long time. Jay says, when I was speaking about my daughter, she said, no, she doesn't think they would tell because they wouldn't want to see me in jail or not having me around, whether that be. So this is something we have to talk about, ladies. Don't take away your protector's options. Don't worry about if I'm going to jail. Don't worry about if I'm going to be hurt. It's a shame that young people, even children, have to make a life decision because they're using their young life to try and preserve or save yours. Dad's got to be around because who's going to take care of the house? Who's going to protect the family? So you keep that inside, and you have now really lost your life. You've really lost your youth. You've lost your life. So, I mean, if anybody needs someone to talk to, if anyone needs a phone number to call, if anyone does any of that, reach out to us, please. Reach out. I'm so thankful for meeting this woman, but I don't want to meet another one. I don't want to meet someone who's had to wait decades to finally be free and who lost their childhood, may have lost their adolescence. Because again, this is a curse. This can be a generational curse. And also,
well, you have.
This is a tough. But here's the thing. This is a tough part, sweetheart. What I need for women to do, if this has happened to you, tell your daughter your story. Tell your daughters and your nieces your stories. Because guess what? If you don't, history will repeat itself, and you're going to punish yourself all over again.
Right.
Tell your girls your story. You don't have to go into dirty details. Just let them know this can happen, it has happened, and it will happen. You might be saving them from your fate, and then you've broken the curse.
Right.
That's as much as I can really interject about that. Not because, and really with alcohol. So I'm really quickly sorry. Alcohol and drugs, barbiturates, things like that become an issue. A lot of states take it easy on perpetrators because, well, she was enticed by alcohol, she was drunk, she was this, she was that. If you're not coherent enough to make a decision, still rape. If someone even remotely seems on the fence, still the same thing. But a lot of states and a lot of places don't look at it that way because they figure you put yourself in that position. Unless you're involuntarily given things and forced to take them, it's really, really tough to get. It used to be harder. It's still kind of, it's really, really better than it was. I mean, I promise you, 30 years ago, wow. 40 years ago, wow. Now it's a little easier, but it's still hard to get a conviction. It's very difficult. Do not let that stop you. You push and push and push until you get your voice heard. It's the best advice I can give you. Don't let that get swept under the rug. If for no other reason than shit spite. Sorry, I said it. You can't live your life happily ever after. And I'm sitting here struggling with it. Nah, partner. No, we can't do it. Like I said, this is why I'm here, because I'm not a saint. Shit. I believe in getting even. But honestly, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, please free yourself from this. I know it's not always easy, but absolutely find a way. Find a way to talk with someone who knows more, who's dealt with this. Find a way so that I need you to wake up, be able to look yourself in the mirror and go, I'm still good. I'm still okay. I'm still 100%. I'm still whole. You're not worthless. It wasn't your fault what happened. So don't devalue your own life and yourself because of what somebody chose to do. That's the main thing I need people to understand. You are valuable. And I can give you 100 reasons why if you can't find one. And I only have to know you. So, sis, Crystal G, I don't know if you guys, have anything that you want to share. I know Mimi definitely has some input here. If you guys know of anything or anyone, whether you're talking about them here or now, reach out to them. Like I said, whatever we have to do, it's just, I'm really passionate about it. But I appreciate the feedback from, everyone calling in and texting as well. So sorry to get heavy. Had to happen, though. It had to. This is way too important.
Yes.
I got it.
So, of course, I definitely have something to say because at the end of the day, I really want to say that it was very, very brave for your friend to even come to you to say, hey, look, I want you to talk about this on my behalf, and prayers to her and kudos to her for being able to move on.
Yes.
And you know, like you said, be like, you know what? It's not the fault of anybody else that this happened to me, so why should I make anybody pay for it? I moved on. You know, but still, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, this is something that still bothers us no matter how you look at this. You know, it bothers us on a daily basis. It bothers us when we see commercials or movies or trailers or, you know, a female being dragged or a Tyler Perry movie. Like, there's just a lot of stuff out here that takes us through the motions every time we see it. You know, when I saw that post earlier today with the 3 brothers that you know, killed the dad because of him molesting the little girl, when I say that shit, I just took a screenshot and sent it to CB like, look, we just need to talk about this. Like, everything bothers me. And the thing about it is that it's really crazy that you were talking to your friend about this, because between the ages of 5 and 10, I went through that shit at my grandmother's house with uncles. Then at age 9, it happened at home. Then at age 13, I was raped by my older brother's friend. And it never stopped. It was like, it was always something. And I was like, oh, you know, when I decided to talk about it, I was 21 years old. But my mom had found out about it when we were young. And because she didn't want something to happen to my grandmother, she decided not to say anything. I was 10 years old at the time. My grandmother died in 2000. I was already grown with my daughter. She was only a couple of months at the time. I find out at the wake of my grandmother that all along she had known what had happened to me. It's just one of those things that you think nobody knows. But because this had been happening for decades before me in the family, the whole family is corrupted. And now here comes myself, my brothers, my cousins. It's happening to everybody. So when I decided to open my mouth later on down the line, I was already 21, you know, it was one thing because folks are planning to do certain things. And I was like, nah, you got to let it go, because at the end of the day, I talked to God about it. I moved on. Thank God for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because I had her at 19. I had my son at 21. And because now I have kids, I have to live differently. Or I'm telling you now, I would probably be in prison for the rest of my life had it not been for my kids. So I thank God for them at the end of the day. All day, every day, I thank God. Every so often, I'm like, Father God, had it not been for them little ones that are now grown and doing their own shit and in their own troubles and shit, I would not be where I am today. Because I'm telling you, I was plotting all the time. I kept plotting in my head how I'm going to take them out, how they're going to be taken out, because they got to go. They got to go. They got to go to the other side. Whatever side it's on, they just got to go. But it doesn't do anything for me that they got to go. So decades later, because I'm now 51, this happened to me. It's a constant prayer. It's a constant thing. Now I have the nieces and everybody else coming like, auntie, this happened to me, that happened to me. And I'm going, it never ended because nobody put a stop to it. So it's still happening. So I'm still reliving this all the time. But like I said, it's all about prayer. It's not about making, you know, the man in my life, you know, have to deal with that but I do share this information. Like, baby, look, this is where I'm at. This is what's going on. This is what happened. And I want you to know that some days I'm great. And some days if I say no, no is no. Like, it is what it is. Because no matter how much counseling you have, you still have that there's a midget of a trigger that happens. And we got to know how to pull back and how to, it's just different things that we go through as women that have been through it. So to my sisters, I'm going to tell you guys, because I know that we're about to wrap up in a few minutes. Don't be scared to reach out. Yeah. I don't care. You've got, Mimi Acosta is all over social media. I don't care. Reach out to me. Let's talk about it. You know, I'm here. I'm here. I'm not going to stop talking about it, because at the end of the day, this may have happened to me decades ago, but it's still happening to our nieces, our daughters, yes, our girlfriends, our friends. It's still happening. And not only that, I'm not only speaking about us women, it's also happening to our young boys, our babies, yes, our grown men that are dealing with this till today. Nobody wants to talk about this ugly thing, but we must talk about it. We must be real about it, because it is what it is. It is still happening, no matter whether we're here or whether we're not. It's happening. And it's not even about putting a stop to it, because you can't put a stop to something that is so huge. Like, this is like an epidemic. It's been happening forever. You know, we just got to know for ourselves that we are putting a stop to it. We're drawing that line of scrimmage. We're not moving forward from this. At the end of the day, we still got to reach back, because we don't know who else is happening to. And somebody is going to reach out to us and say, hey, look, what do I do? How do I get through this? Prayer, honey.
Mimi, I have a question for you, and and you can answer it later on, but in commentary. So really quickly, jump back in. I just got a message from this lady. I know you guys are like, wow. As we're speaking, I'm asking permission, or I'm saying I don't want to touch that, and whatever she appreciates. So she texted me and asked me. There was one story I didn't really want to tell, and she said, will you please, just buckle up, this is about to tear you up. But I'm going to say this. So her dad, the only dad she really knew, you know, her father died earlier, blah blah blah. She was raised by her stepdad. That was her dad. So this is how things like mental illness, drugs, and all that affect him. He was addicted to drugs, but I don't believe in excuses. I don't. Long story short, when he found out that she had lost her virginity at the age she did, she was a teenager, 15. He was infuriated. And since he was oftentimes on drugs, you know, and that's not an excuse. It's just the mind gets sick too, as my grandmother used to say. It's just another part of the body. He literally stripped her down in front of him, since she wanted to be a woman and she wanted to be sexually active. And he had nothing but his boxers on. And she's telling me this story, and I'm shaking because I'm thinking what's about to happen. But what ended up happening was he started looking at her like her mom, because he's, oh, you look like your mother, you know, a younger version, all this weird shit that people think is complimentary, but you're freaking out this child who is your child. But unfortunately, you ladies develop soon, so you can be 13 or 15 or whatever, and you resemble a woman. The only maturation that happens earlier than anything else is physically. Mentally, you're just where you are. And so it was messing her head up about the things that was happening to his body and her body, because he's pressing up on her, and then she sees a wet spot at the front of his boxers. See, men can produce that the same way women can. And she's freaked out because she doesn't know what that is. She doesn't know who did it, and she doesn't know why. And she's asking herself, did I do something wrong? Am I wrong for feeling am I feeling this way? Now, it wasn't that she was aroused. It was just that she was like, what the hell's going on? So I told her, your body's an amazing, machine. It's designed to protect you from maximum damage by preparing for something like that to happen. So do not blame yourself or feel a certain way if something happens. I need you to understand that. You have to know your body, because if not, a lot of damage can be done. We understand that. Men and women both can lubricate differently. So please don't feel like you betrayed yourself. Oh, you must have wanted it, you must have liked it. And if people don't understand science, they're going to say that kind of stupid shit. And so
Right.
I just feel like that was a relief to her because she was like, I thought something was wrong with me. I don't know if it was him or if it was me. I was like, it may have been both of you, but it was for different reasons. So imagine the
Right.
betrayal you feel if the person you know as your father or uncle or grandfather is the one that does this, stands you there, parades you naked, makes you stand there, touches you. You know, that shit is crazy. And it makes people like me murderers.
Yes. Let me tell you something in closing, because I know we got like 5 minutes to our show.
Yeah, we gotta wrap up.
Yes. At the end of the day, you have to forgive in order to be forgiven, because when they make it to Judgment Day, they're going to have to answer to their own flaws. Like, we have nothing, we are not to be blamed, and we are not to carry that load for anybody else. So all we need to do is forgive ourselves for not doing what other people think we should have done, you know, and just forgive ourselves in general. Forgive them for whatever stupidity they did, because at the end of the day, we also have to face Judgment Day. So it's a hard thing to do. And I know it because, trust me, I had to go through a whole lot of self-counseling and talking to people and lighting candles and getting into my own spiritual realm in order to understand what the hell it is I'm saying right now, because people are going to be like, maybe I lost our mind talking about forgive. My thing is, look, if you don't forgive, you can't be forgiven. And we have done some shit in our lives that God has forgiven us for. So guess what? We forgive and we keep it moving, because at the end of the day, everybody has to face Judgment Day. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to move on from this ugly truth, is by forgiveness. And that's it. Have a drink.
Thanks.
And let's talk about it more.
We're gonna keep it, like for those who don't know, Blog Talk, we're gonna have to sign off in a couple of minutes, but we definitely will be on the after show. So don't feel like you missed out if you need to weigh in and things like that. But I mean, sometimes we have to get heavy, because you know what? This is life altering. This show is going to help someone. It's going to save someone. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you are. But if it does, from here on out, I couldn't be more grateful. Use this as your platform to project you into a better life. Don't lose your life to this shit. For those who haven't been living, you can start again. I promise you, you're not tainted. I promise you, Mimi's living proof. Mimi's gone through all these things just like my friend has, and guess what? They still manage to find love. There's somebody out there who's going to be like, I don't give a damn what you didn't do it. And I don't want to piss on what you just said, because what you said is super profound. You don't have to forgive yourself. Understand, you don't have to forgive you, because you didn't do shit wrong. So in my opinion, you don't have to forgive you.
Let me tell you. Look, hold on. Take this out right quick. I forgive myself. And the reason why I say I forgive myself, because I forgive myself from the thought of really want to put somebody in a chair and strip them of their skin and do the shit that you only be like, oh shit, that's some chainsaw massacre shit you did. That's where the forgiveness myself comes from. And I'm walking away.
You.
We got 2 minutes.
I stand corrected. Mimi's forgiving herself for wanting to go all Hannibal Lecter and Jeffrey Dahmer on people, but and that's perfectly fine. I get it. Like I said, that's the difference between she and I, because like I said, I'm the red guy on this shoulder. She can be the white one on that shoulder. That's okay. We can talk about it. I'm that Peter Griffin angel.
Mimi, when we get on the boat, when we get on the boat, stay away from the knives.
Hey, look, let's turn it over to CB, man. We got to wrap this show up. We got 1 minute left.
we're moving into the after show, folks.
Let's go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for sharing the stories with us, Roger and Mimi. Thank you so much. That was so brave of both of you women for sharing that with us. And if anyone that is listening, if you're a survivor of sexual assault, you can call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE, and that's 4673. That's 1-800-656-4673. or 1-800-656-HOPE. And know that there is hope. And again, as we just said, you've done nothing wrong. You can also report at hotline.rain, RAINN.org online, and you can receive a confidential support. So you can do it anonymously if you don't want to, be known. You can do it anonymously, but the important thing is to talk about it and to tell someone. And if you have questions on how can you report a sexual assault, well, reporting a sexual assault starts with having a law enforcement officer document the case with a written report where they can assign a tracking number to the crime. An officer can meet you at any location of your choosing. It could be your home, car, or at the hospital, wherever you choose, wherever you feel comfortable speaking with them. But it's best to always report it so that there is a tracking number attached to the case, because you don't know, this person could be a serial rapist or a serial assault, sexual assault perpetrator. You just don't know. And predators come in all shapes, sizes, forms, colors, whatever.
Yeah.
So just be careful, be mindful. If you are out on a date or at a club, for example, with your friend, never leave your drink unattended. If you go, say, to the restroom and you come back, don't drink that same drink, because anyone can slip something in your drink. So don't put yourself in a situation that can be prevented. So prevention is key. So everyone, thank you so much for sharing your stories. For those on Blog Talk, we are signing off. So Blog Talk, iHeart, Apple Podcast, thank you so much for rocking with us tonight. And those who are watching us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, just stick around, because the after show begins right after the last song. So, guys, go ahead and say your goodbyes to the listeners on Blog Talk and iHeart and Apple Podcast. Go ahead, guys.
Real quick, let me throw this out there to everyone listening. I really, really hope you take heed. Take care of yourself, but absolutely do what you need to do to free yourself. To my dear friend that I have here, and to Mimi, tonight, I have to tell you, you guys are my hero. The reason you're my hero is because you don't understand how damn hard that is. To open yourself up to the world, to be vulnerable, but to say, you know what, it's for the greater good. So my love goes to you guys for that. Yeah, I mean, you're bigger than life tonight. Your cape is a mile long. Take care of yourselves, everybody. I'll catch you on the flip side.
One love. God bless you guys next week.
Blog Talk, iHeartRadio, all you listeners over there. Peace, love, and hair grease.
With a Chiefs hat.
All right. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will be back next week, same time, same station, for another uncomfortable conversation. Our topic next week is going to be what happens after the gastric bypass surgery, like the dark side of gastric bypass surgery when pretty hurt. So please look forward to that uncomfortable conversation. And we look forward to having you guys back next week. So to take us out, and once again, just to reiterate, if you are a survivor of a sexual assault, you can call the National Sexual Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE, and that's 4673. Again, 1-800-656-HOPE, because there is hope and there is light at the end of the dark tunnel. And I want you guys to know that you are not alone. So definitely call and talk to someone. If you don't feel like talking to a family member, then talk to someone, but you have to talk about it. So, and we thank you so much for joining us tonight. And remember, you can do and be anything that you want in this world, as long as you work hard, believe in yourself, but above all things, love yourself. Love, love, love yourself. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and we will see you next week. And again, those that are watching us, hang on for the after show. And to take us out is BTS with Coldplay and You're My Universe. Because you guys are our universe. Don't forget to go to our platforms, like us, and subscribe on YouTube, so that we can bring you more. So it's BTS and My Universe. Bye-bye.
In the night I lie and look up at you. When the morning comes I watch your eyes. It's a paradise they couldn't capture. That bright infinity inside your eyes. 매밤 내게 날아가 이런 것도 믿음치 나 웃으면 너를 만나. Never ending forever baby. You are my universe. 어둠이 내게 변했었자 길어진 그림자 속에서 And the thought that we can't be together because it can't come from different sides. You are my universe, and 나를 밝혀준 건 너란 사랑으로 수놓아준 별 내어준 건 너 다른 세상을 만들어주는 걸 너는 내 별이자 나의 호수니까 지금의 시련도 결국엔 잠시니까 너는 언제까지나 지금처럼 밝게만 빛나줘 우리는 너를 따라 이긴 밤을 수놓고 너와 함께 날아가 When I'm without you I'm crazy 자 어서 내 손을 잡아 We are made of each other baby You are my universe
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, all right.
Here we are.
Good show, y'all. Good show.
Absolutely. Now's where the real nitty gritty begins. Turn the video on. What's the matter? You don't want nobody to see you doing the Fred Sanford?
I had to get more alcohol. That's really what it boiled down to. I had to open my door.
Ooh, are you guys ready for the joke of the day?
I'm not sure.
I've used this look more times tonight than I have in 2 years.
Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll wait.
All right. So, when in the grocery store, how can you spot the promiscuous potato?
He got his wacky out.
So, when this says Idaho,
You know how we talked earlier about like the time in your life you can never get back? Idaho boss. Ida Pappy boss. Ida Pappy boss. Oh my God. There you go. I'll tell you.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We can't hear you, Mimi.
She laughing at your retarded ass.
No, she's muted.
Mimi pulling a me. She pulling a Roger right now.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna sit here and be fly, but I ain't gonna say shit. All right. Oh boy.
I was trying to be fly. I was fixing my curls, my mic, all kinds of shit.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad. You know.
Hey, look.
Listen, y'all got me drinking on a Wednesday like it's the weekend. Shit.
And refill my drink. Don't talk like you don't drink every other day. Don't do that.
Only on days that end in Y, baby. Only on days that end in Y. So let's not talk about it.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I had a business meeting yesterday at 1 p.m. and I had a job to go to at 3 p.m. And I was at the bar talking to my one of my mentors, and I was drinking vodka and Red Bull at 1 p.m. Shit. And sister girl, hey, shout out to my girl Lindsay at the bar in Vegas. She was pouring heavy. But you know, I drink my left and drive my right, so I get where I'm going.
Did you hear what you just said?
Yeah, I did.
You said at the bar in Vegas.
It's called The Bar, boy. It's called The Bar. It's like a franchise.
You know what? I seen that.
Yeah, it's
I
a
did
bunch
see
of
that.
and yo, shout out. They go hard. It's called The Bar.
Yeah. I remember seeing it. Matter of fact, me and Nicole went in there and
it's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Now I gotta take y'all. I gotta take y'all to the one by my crib though. This is cool. It's cool. So anyway, yeah, like let me tell you something that I learned a long time ago. When you really, really separate yourself and become close to people is under two situations: when there's adversity involved, or when there's a pivotal moment, when there's revelation. And you have choices to make. And I mean, in all sincerity, this is kind of how this happens, because you get to see a side of people. You see people for, who they really are and what you don't get on the everyday.
Yes.
Because it's funny. I sound like one of those people on TV. Once upon a time, I really, really have talked to that many people in my life. I could tell y'all stories for days, just about the people I've encountered. And so what I was saying about like in college, what's funny is if you ever go to college, the Job Corps, the military, anywhere where you're with a group of people for a long period of time, you obviously form groups and you begin to bond. When that happens is when you start to really, really, learn about people, and you find out what you do have in common or don't. And me in particular, I just specifically remember when I was at school in Springfield, and we would have a little group, because again, it was a predominantly non-black college, but we would form our groups and things like that, and we would get together and talk, and people would start to feel close. And it was then when I was 18 years old that I realized I cannot believe how many young women have endured something like this in their life. It blew my mind, because again, obviously the young lady I was dating told me some things, and I kind of tripped about a little bit. She was molested by her babysitter. She hated blonde white women. It took me years to get her to let that go, because she was molested by her babysitter. She hated blondes for that reason. So imagine that damage on top of some other things. like Mimi, like we were talking about. There were things in the family with grandpa and things like that nobody talked about. You want to preserve the legacy and this and that. So we had a lot of talks, but just in that little group that we had, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, every one of the women except one had a story. And I was like, wow, I cannot believe it's that prevalent. And so I guess it kind of became a thing to me to be like, you know what? I want to always be on the lookout and be a listening ear. Because again, I had sisters at the time. I got 3 of them. And obviously I'm from a matriarchal family like some of us are, so I was raised by women. So naturally you're taught to take care of and preserve and protect. But just when I learned how prevalent that was, it's heartbreaking, man. It's really heartbreaking that we men, and I'm not going to use a color or a culture, but men, we are the number one threat to women. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And so it just kind of became my thing. But I'm like I said, I'm really in awe of anybody that can sit up here and say, hey, look, this is what happened, because it takes a lot to come forward and speak about something that was once taboo, to speak about something that once was a stain on your family, your legacy, and things like that. You got to break those fucking chains. The way when I sent George the picture when I was in Ghana, they found the chain and the ball that was attached to a slave's ankle. And I'm looking at that in 2022 and I see it. And it's like that was on somebody. So it took me back 500 years. It was completely mind-boggling.
Of course.
Mind-boggling. And so it's the same thing. It's very, very much the same thing here. I want, and I know you can't have everything, but just me being me, I want that so badly, because quality of life is everything. And then I think to myself, like I said, how would I handle that if, one of my kids, one of my sisters, anybody in my family, any one of my friends came to me and said that. And I think that's why I'm such a staunch protector of that. I mean, no, you can't save everybody. I'm not, I'm not, Superman or anything like that. But I just know I can't walk down the street if I think something like that's going to occur and let it go. I'm just not going to. Like I said, I'm telling everybody, you're not alone with me. Fuck that. I got a lot of energy. I can whoop ass, and I got a few guns strategically placed.
See, this is the thing with you, because you're my brother, so I gotta say this. With you having girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with they knowing that you are how you are.
Yes.
It's important that they also know that, hey, look, I need to be able to come to you for anything and not think that you're going to flatline the world, because that's when they shut down and they get scared and they don't want to say.
Yep.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because that is what I experienced with my daughter. When she decided with her own little crew and cliques that she's gay, and this happened to her like she was 12 years old playing basketball, and she was turned out. I never knew, but because she was always so GQ in what she wore, her sportswear, this and that, it went over my head, because she still had the little boys, and she was like, I'm going to tell mommy that this is the little boy.
Right. He's feeling me, but I'm really feeling her.
I'm really feeling her. And then we're doing the sleepovers and shit happens, and I find out in the 12th grade because I was snooping.
Yeah.
But all those years had passed. But because she knew, if I tell mommy is she's going to go to prison for the rest of her life, because she's going to flatline the whole world trying to find out who did this to me.
Yeah, you're right.
So she held these things back. And then you have all these years of things happening, and you're going, where did I go wrong? Like,
where did I go wrong? Yes.
How did I miss this? This is the things that you protect them from your whole life. Because at the end of the day, I was like, my child is not going through this shit. This is not going to be repeated. I'm going to make sure I'm there. I'm going to make sure this. I'm going to make sure that I don't have a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 where I'm missing out on her coming home. And no, I'm going to be self-sufficient. I'm going to work these jobs where I can call my own hours. So when she get out of school, I'm there. Like, I thought I did everything to find out that she's doing her own thing in the background, because she's trying to shelter. Like, okay, you know what? I don't want mommy to go to prison, but if I
Yeah.
tell her this is what's gonna happen. And all this time shit is happening, and you know. So what I'm saying to you is, now you have to re-strategize your
Right.
communication.
And I'm going to ask you that. So, in your opinion, because Jay said that earlier, Jay chimed in and when I was talking about my daughters, and her commentary was, she said, no, they, as in your daughters,
Right.
wouldn't tell you because they wouldn't want to see you in jail and never having you around. So, my question is, and it's rhetorical, it's open. What do we do? Because, yeah, my kids know me. My kids
That
know
that
I'm
that
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 parent.
means
Like,
that means that you have to come back to them and have a serious family meeting and be like, look, I know that you guys know how I am, but there's a reality to what's really happening in this world. And I
right.
want you guys to know that it is of importance that if some shit goes south, you guys talk to me about it, because we're gonna have to bring this party in. Because this is the thing, and this is what I want you to understand. Things don't happen to our kids or to us because it just happened. No, it happened to that perpetrator as well, and their
Right.
perpetrator, and
Right.
their perpetrator, and their
Right.
perpetrator. And what happened is, because this is such a generational shit, which is the curse, it happens from person to person to generation. And what happened to me didn't just happen to me by somebody who did it to me, it happened to them too.
Right.
So because I know where this it stemmed from, that's why I had to forgive, because I'm like, you know what? They are twisted, fucked up.
Right.
Because those, which when I say the uncles, they're all in their like 60s and 70s today. Some have died, all this shit. But at the end of the day, it happened to them. So then it happened to me. And
Right.
who am I to go saying, today I want to go and kill a 70-something-year-old?
Okay, so my question to you, as somebody that this has happened to, is what could your protector, whoever that may have been, mother, father, uncle, what could your protector have said to you that would have made you comfortable enough to tell them the truth at that age? Anything or nothing?
No, because I came up in a very broken and a very abusive home.
Mhm.
So had I said that type of shit like louder than what was said at the time, I probably wouldn't be here today, because it was that type of shit where it was a lot of pride and a lot of, if you say
Right.
this is gonna happen to you. If you say that, so I really had to damn near wait till I got out of the house to be that voice. So
Wow.
today, when I say shit around, when I even think about going home, it's like, oh shit, where's she staying? Who's having a cookout? What is she gonna say when she gets here? Because I don't
Right.
stop talking. I talk they can't stand me. My family loves me and
Imagine that.
hates me at the same time, because they know that I'm the one that's gonna start shit. I'm the shit starter.
And so I'm asking because I've done, like you said, I've posed the questions to my kids a couple of years ago. But my thing is, they understand I'm never going to blame them. So we'll just take a situation. If one of my younger kids got into a scuffle, if they're going to call me, but then the thing is, it's always one of those, oh Lord, don't call my dad. But because I'm not going to ask permission to come to the school, I'm going to show up and call a meeting, and I don't give a shit who's there. I'm that parent. We all know that.
As
But
you should.
is this right? So, but I'm also not going to go in judgmentally. I'm just going to say, hey, give me the facts, and I'm going to look you in the eye. So I want them to understand I'm not going to blame you. You can't come to me and say that and think I'm going to say it's your fault. I don't care if you're dancing butt naked in front of somebody going, hey, look at this new thong I had and all that. If you say, I just want you to, we having an ass contest, but don't touch me. That's what it means. See, I'm that person. There's not a lot I'm black and white about in the world. That's one of them. It doesn't matter what you're doing, because so often they go, she wanted it, she asked for it, it was cool, she led me on, I couldn't control myself. If you don't have that kind of a self-control, then you need a handler.
That's
You
why
should always be.
that's why it's important to show them and to let them know, as a man,
Yeah,
right? That this shit is happening out there.
real. It's real, and I would never blame them.
Right.
You,
And should it come your way, just let's have a conversation about it.
but
They
like
they
you
have
said,
to they have to be comfortable to know that they could come to you about.
Oh, they can. But the thing is, they do. They can talk to me about anything. But like you said, and like Jay said earlier, when she was on, the fear is my children know me, and they know I tend to respond and answer things with finality, and so they know if I say I'm going to be there, it's probably going to be smoke in the city. I don't give a shit about much. I really don't. But you can't have my last name and something go wrong. I really don't care about anything else. And so because of that, that fear that I don't want my dad in jail, I don't want my dad hurt, I don't want my dad to do so.
This is where. So this is
how
where
do you combat that though?
No. Okay, so this is the thing. It's not about them right now. It's about you having to do some soul searching and talk to God about your position, because they have to be able to come to you, whether it's now, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now. They have to be able to come and say, Dad, I went through this and I need to talk to somebody about it, and the only person I can trust to talk about this is you. Or Mom.
And they can.
Or,
and they
you know
can.
what I'm saying? They need to know that they can come and talk to you, but they might be scared to talk to you because they already know you coming out with an AK-47 and then some.
But the thing is, and you're right, but I want them to be comfortable. I'm not going to blame them, and I'm not going to. And so, okay, so Jay is still with us, and she says, as a mom who's gone through that with her daughter, she was assaulted and was scared to tell her. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The reason this is so difficult is because here's the thing, and I'm going to speak for you guys because I think I'm probably accurate when I say you feel like the failure as a parent, because you go, how did I miss it? How did I allow this to happen? And what's worse is it happened to me and I allowed it to happen to my child. This is why I'm telling you guys, as a man talking to a woman, I'm telling you, you all have to talk to your children, talk to your girls, let them know. You don't have to give them dirty details, but you have to. And this is a prime example. So again,
This is the thing, bro. You have to have a conversation with your wife, so your wife can pull the girls and talk to the girls.
Agreed.
Because if they don't feel that they can come to Dad, they gotta feel that they can come to Mom.
Well, I don't think it's about coming to Dad. It's about relatability. It's about being able to relate. I'm not a woman, so I've not gone through that. Not saying that men don't, but you see what I'm saying? As a woman, you clearly have you have the upper hand in that conversation, because you go, listen, it did happen. I'm still here. I'm still standing, but this is how it happened, and this is how I need to teach you to not let it happen. So let's read what Jay. She said she just admitted that the collision happened prior to the one that I knew about. Okay, she knew I wouldn't be mad at her, but she was afraid I was going to be going to jail. So see,
mind you, Jay is a mother.
Right.
So it could happen both ways, whether it's mom or dad. If we are that parent that is off the fucking chain,
right,
the kids are gonna be like, man, shit, I can't tell my mom shit because she gonna go postal. And then they hold on to this shit and they wait until they're of age. Then they come like, oh ma, this happened to me when I was 12. This happened to me when I was 8. And I'm like, it's not that it's too late to flip out, but it's like, shit, why you couldn't tell me back then? Well, I couldn't tell you because you were off the chain.
Exactly. And I know that you're right. I know my kids think that the problem is what they don't understand about me is I'm not a knee-jerk person. I've never been a knee-jerk person. But they understand how I think because they know me. I'm not a knee-jerk reaction kind of a person, which is probably even scarier. But that being said, if you know I'm gonna protect you with everything in me, see, that's the sad. Think about the decision these children. It's a double-edged sword for these young people. I can either live with this and suffer in silence, or I can tell my folks and break up my family. Now, here's the thing. I'm never going to blame you. It's not going to break up our family. We're going to protect you. But like Jay and you and I and everybody else has said earlier, it's going to make you go, I don't want to lose this parent because I know what's going to happen. Well, you know what? You have to. You're not going to be free. I can be dead and gone, and my kids are going to be here, and they're going to suffer for this. So you're right. You said it best, Mimi. Candid conversations, everything. And I have told their mother that. I have said, listen, You need to talk to them. If there's something you need them to understand, then you need to have a talk with them. I'm not saying there is or isn't. I'm just saying if there is, you need to talk to them. Because guess what? When my son comes to me and wants to talk about families, or when my son wants to talk about anything adult that involves a man, I'm going to tell you from personal experience. I'm not going to say, oh, well, son, I'm going to say, hey, this is where dad screwed up back in the day, or this is where I went right because I didn't go. But I need him to understand I was in that line of fire.
Right.
Because when you make it personal, all of a sudden they go, wow, mom did it, dad did it. So this is why I am imploring people, tell your children, tell your story. You don't have to give detail, but you got to let them know. If this happened, let them know so that they know it's okay. Not that it's taboo. That's old. You can't do that. You know, and so again, we're opening doors right now. Somebody has learned something right now.
Yes.
And this is something we have to address. So right now, there's a conversation that's going to need to be had.
Yes.
With someone and their child, because that fear, we're looking right. Look at that fear. Look at the comments for those of you guys that can't. You've seen it come across. This is what happens because you thought one thing because and I'm just going to say this because as a man who I used to listen to my sister's conversations with her friends and other things, when you talk to people from both sides, you learn a lot more. I don't assume I know everything. That's why I ask questions. But oftentimes I've heard so often that women said, who was going to believe me because we were on a date, or I agreed to kiss him, or we agreed to do it one time, and then all of a sudden it became this. This is exactly what we're talking about right here.
Yes.
Because if you're flirting or you're doing whatever, it looks like, okay, you want it, but then maybe, I don't give a shit. Look, and I'm not trying to be graphic, people. I have been mid-stroke, and someone was like, oh, I don't, jump the hell up, jumped up left. My own apartment in college. I walked into the living room in my own apartment. What you won't say, and I don't give a shit if you change your mind and go, no, I'm cool. Let's go. Nope. You got to go. Let's go home.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What Roger was never going to be accused of was that.
Yes.
Now, we just can't do it. But that's because I've had these conversations. My mother and grandmother both were like, son, this is where you got to go with that. That's me. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but I am saying that what I would never be called was someone who made someone do something they didn't want to. And I know a lot of people can't do that. And so this is exactly what I'm talking about. This woman spoke to her daughter, and she believed, you know what? He talked me into it because I said yes. I don't give a shit if you say yes all the way from the car to the door to the bedroom. If you get in there and say no, it's no. But we know how many people can. When you're right there and you're thinking with the wrong head and you ready, and you think it's about to pop off, you can't backpedal.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. So these are things that, look, I really hope you guys are listening. First of all, it's not your fault. I don't give a damn. You can be butt naked, spread eagle, whatever. You can have the most gorgeous thing in the world. Listen, we got cell phones now. Take a picture, walk your ass up out of there. Don't do it. You just don't do it. Like I said, I've left my own apartment bedroom and walked into the living room until someone got dressed. And the thing is, it's just because you can be a little nervous, a little apprehensive, a little scared, a little shy. But to me, when I was younger, that equaled 100% not sure. If you're 99% sure, that ain't good enough for Roger. You had to be 100% sure for me, or it wasn't popping. And I wish more people talk to their children about that. My son knows where I stand on that. I'm never going to have to get that phone call. And I say that not bragging, but I say that like my son knows I'll kill you too. But he's not that kind of a guy. Because he's
that's the thing. Listen to you. Listen to you. Listen,
like, fuck my kid up.
You know, and look, and I could understand what you're saying with that. But
you know what I mean in terms of character.
Yeah. People come from different things.
Sure.
People come, and these kids nowadays are influenced by so much shit that at the end of the day, you have to have the conversation even with him to let him know, yo, son.
I have.
If there is a hint.
Yes.
I don't know. It irks. Put the brakes.
But this. You're right. leave no stone unturned. So we'll be talking, and again, like I said, it's cool because he's older. He's older now, so we can go to the bar, have a beer, and just talk about life. And then you slowly start to bring stories out. With George has got a son, a young man too. So when they're 19, you got to tell them certain things and not. When they're 24, you got to tell them certain things and not. And as time goes on, same thing. But see, he's at the point where when you're on your own, you're doing well, you're doing et cetera, et cetera. This is when you start to go, all right, now, son, this is what can happen. This is how you need to respond to that. Or you give a little bit of, hey, back in my day, you have to do that. This is what I mean by people talk to your children about whatever. It's not about telling on yourself, but telling yourself.
Yes. So check this out. So CB and George, please chime in. Like, have y'all had these types of challenging conversations with your kids about this type of stuff? Because I know that we've been kind of carrying the conversations the whole time, but I just want you guys to weigh in also.
Well, I did, talk to the twins about, like I mentioned, if you leave your drink unattended, they know not to, go back and drink the same drink. And just telling my daughter, don't put herself in a situation that can turn into something like that. Just being smart and being mindful of their surroundings. I tell them both that. Like, one thing that Aramis and his buddies used to do is they would turn off all the lights and beat the crap out of each other, which I thought, was crazy. But then he was like, it's kind of like training. What if you're in a dark place and somebody ambushes you? He's like, we're prepared. And I was like, well, when you think of it logically like that, you're like, okay. But because I used to think it was crazy because the lights would all be out, now you're boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what are y'all doing? I mean, it was crazy, but
and this is the thing, right? And I love what you're saying when you say that, because that just goes to say that there are situations that are very innocent. Because my thing is, if you, as my sister, as a woman, have not experienced the type of shit that, let's just say, I've gone through, or Roger's friend has gone through, then your teachings to your kids would be a little bit different because you didn't experience that. So what are you telling your kids? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's not exactly true. When asked if I've ever experienced stuff, I just say yes and move on. For me, it's embarrassing. So I just, don't.
And we don't have to go into it, babe.
No, for sure.
We don't have to go into it at all, and not even for a split second do we have to do that.
But let me say this, sis. Mimi, I don't mean to cut you off, Mama.
No, please.
But like I said earlier, I hope that everybody out there is hearing me when I say that if you a gentleman of quality is going to look at that. It's just like anything. What has given us our specific marks in life, if you will, scars and things like that, is what makes your character. That's what makes you one of a kind. So I just need you guys to understand that if you've ever been a man who's ever dated or loved or anything, a woman who's gone through this, like I said, I need y'all to understand that you're not tainted. And I can't speak for you because I wasn't there. But like I was saying earlier, I hope that this lifts some of the weight off of everybody, because it ain't you. I've just told everybody in the free world, I don't give a damn what the situation is. You're always in control. You're the boss on that one. I don't say that often, but in that situation, you're always the boss. You call the shots. And so if that rule was broken, that's not on you. There's never a need. And furthermore, I want you guys to understand the value that you still hold. You are clearly still valuable in every way, shape, and form. I don't give a shit about that. Whatever you have, it just makes us different. Some of us have, you might have a mole on your cheek like Cindy Crawford. You might have, legs like Serena. You might be whatever. We all have something that gives us value. You have to look at this as this is not going to take away from you. It's not going to detract. Look at how many people, whether they know your story or not, still have a desire to get to know you or want to be with you. And that's just based on who you are. So what difference does it make what happened? That's not something you walked into and deliberately said, I'm going to do this. So I just really want you to look into that, and it doesn't require a response. I just need you to look inside and say, you know what, this ain't me. This isn't my doing. This isn't my burden to carry. This isn't my dirt. That's somebody else's. You still hold value. And I want everybody to know that. You know how many women are married, successful, and all that in spite of what some jackass did? You guys are every bit as valuable. So just please keep that in mind. I'm saying it. I know a lot of other men are agreeing with me out there in the world, whether they say it or not. You have every bit the same amount of value. You are not 94% anymore. You're still 100%. I promise you that. And I know that's got to be difficult because someone once made you maybe feel like it was your fault or that wasn't. That's bullshit. And like I said, yeah, I know. I know it's got to be tough to contend with because I know how good people can be at turning situations around and making you feel like it was your fault that it happened. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you sit there and say, hey, look at this. Show me yours. Come stand next. I don't care. And I'm a man saying that. I don't care. It's on you. So do your thing. It's always you're the boss. You are always the boss. And when somebody breaks the rules, they should have their neck broken. So again, like I said, I know myself and all kind of other quality gentlemen out there still will love the hell out of a woman 100% in spite of or even because of. So just keep that in mind, guys, just keep that in mind. I need y'all to do that. And for guys, if you haven't heard it enough, we'll tell you more often because I know people need to know that sometimes. We all need to look. You can put gas in your tank once a week and fill it up, or you can be like a typical brother and do every couple of days, put 10 in. Either way, I'll fill you up. I'll fill your tank up however you want. I'm going to drop a 20 in on Wednesday. I'll see you on Saturday. You tell me what you need. I got you. Funny, but I'm being 100% honest. Right. Sometimes people need to know, like, yo, am I okay? Yeah, you're okay. Am I damaged? Am I tainted? Not at all. Like I said, not at all. So please believe that because this shit is hard. It's really hard. I've talked to young men that have gone through this. I used to be a bouncer at a drag club, and I would have very candid conversations with these young men and go, hey, man, talk to me. What happened? What went down? You'd be amazed, or maybe not, at how many 16, 15, 17-year-old boys, like Mimi said, got turned out by the guy who was supposed to be the head of the family or who was kind of running the show, who trapped them in a room and said, you're not leaving until you do this. And then all of a sudden they find themselves in a lifestyle that they don't, and then they feel conflicted because it was like, why'd you do this? Well, this is why I did it, but I kind of liked it. So now I'm confused. Am I like this? Am I not? I don't know what to do. Do you know how many young people commit suicide because they're so damn confused? I don't give my kids could come in here and be like, Dad, I'm in love with a man, a woman, and a kangaroo. And I'd be like, okay, who's coming to dinner? That's all I need to know. Whose name do I call? I don't give a shit what my kids do. Are you happy? Shit. Are you happy? I don't care. Right. I need my children to be happy. Yeah. Be like Dennis Rodman, marry the whole damn city and a fucking tree too. That's why I love the Worm. Dennis was like, fuck it, I'm gonna marry all of New York. But to thine own self be true, people. Yes, be true to you. Don't let this drag you down, because I can't say it enough. I cannot say it enough. All my parents would come back and kill me from the beyond if they didn't think that I was doing my best to protect my sisters. I have to. I absolutely have to.
Speaking of protect, if people are offering self-defense classes in your area, definitely take the opportunity to take those classes, because if you are overpowered by someone that's bigger than you and and they hold you down and you can't move and there's nowhere to go and you scream and no one comes and you have to learn to fight back and you can't be afraid to fight back.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. I didn't think about it, so thank you for doing that. If you guys are just joining us, you listen to CB and the Boys. CB just said something very important. I'm in Las Vegas. I can direct you to people in Kansas City, and I'm sure I can find people anywhere. But yes, women especially, but anybody, if you need self-defense training, if you need to feel like you can go out again and protect yourself, I'm in Vegas. You can reach out to me. I'm an assistant instructor at Legasca Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We do it for free. Self-defense for women is absolutely free. I know people in Kansas City that are fantastic, very, very good. So if you're in KC and you need it, reach out to me. I will get you hooked up, because she's 100% right. There are things you can do. I promise you. There are a lot of art forms that are deliberately designed for the smaller, less strong opponent to defeat the bigger, stronger opponent. It is doable. I believe in a lot of people don't understand that. You need that. You need to know what to do in an uncomfortable situation. You need to know what to do if someone invades your personal space. That's your 3 feet. So, like I said, reach out. You guys have my information. Like I said, if you're in Vegas, and you know what? As a matter of fact, if you guys want to put together something, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, and I'll bring a quality group of guys with me. And like I said, we can absolutely make something happen. I need everybody to feel empowered, and this is a good way to do it. It's not about what if you don't have time to run for mace, a weapon, whatever. But I want to make sure that everybody feels like they have a fighting chance. I never want anybody to feel like this again. So I am imploring everybody to please reach out. The only way that you can have growth is to be uncomfortable. I'm sorry, people. When you were younger and you went through a growth spurt, it hurt. When you are trying to switch jobs, it hurts. When you're in and out of relationship, it hurts. You want to know why? Because growth hurts. This is just another portion of that. So by all means, if you really want to, learn how to protect yourself, learn just, a few things that mean the difference between getting away and not feeling like you're helpless again, please reach out. I got you covered. I promise you I got you covered. I don't even know anybody in Rhode Island, but I bet you I could get you some free seminars and classes in Rhode Island. I promise you that, because we're a fraternity. When people train and do martial arts and things like that, we understand why women come through the door. No woman wants to be next to anybody sweaty, a man, and no shit like that. But when you walk into somebody's doors, there's a reason. There's always a reason. You have to understand that. And we do. We have a lot of young ladies that come through our door that have a story. We know that. We understand that. We work around it. If you need one-on-one, if you just want to train with women, if you want to train privately, whatever your need is, I got you covered. So, please don't forget about that. And I don't care where you are. If you're in Florida, I'll find someone. I got you covered. If you're wherever, we'll definitely work it out. But I'm just saying where I am. I have the majority of my connections are in Las Vegas and Kansas City, but that doesn't mean I can't get that taken care of. So CB, thank you for that, honey. I know that was tough, just like everything tonight. But I want every single day. I want one less person. What you got, G?
That was exactly what I was gonna hit on when Mimi asked, for her and I to chime in on it. I was gonna say as far as my son, I taught him to respect the woman better than that. So I'm never worried of him being on that end of the stick. And with my daughter, That was real easy. I taught her to kick him in the ding ding.
Exactly.
Kick him in the ding ding. Yeah,
That's number one.
they got because I've spent half of my life in martial arts, so I taught her how to defend herself when something's happening that she doesn't want to happen.
Yeah.
So
But it's like Mimi said earlier. The biggest fear of us as fathers is that your daughter won't tell you because she's trying to protect you. That's such a weird thing. Is that and it's true. Sometimes once you realize that sometimes if you're grabbed from behind, you don't have the opportunity. And that's what Jay is saying. If you're grabbed from behind, if someone's already got you wrapped up, it's not possible. I get it. We all think about scenarios like, oh, I would do this and I would do that.
Well,
but
it's not always possible for everyone, but for somebody who's properly trained, it is. It's very possible. It's very.
Let me play devil's advocate here and say, how is it possible if you're grabbed from behind? If you're grabbed from behind, you can't kick them in the ding ding because you're facing the same way. I mean, and again, I understand what you're saying in that, like, look, you respond, da 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 da. That's not the truth of it. If you walk outside and somebody's broken your window and they're gone already, you can be like, yo, I would have done this. They're already gone. If you are walking, minding your own business, you don't have a reason to suspect, and then you're grabbed from behind. You don't look. You understand martial arts. If you're in a rear naked choke, you're in the fucking thing. If you know it's coming, that's one thing. If you're in it, you're in it. And so I think what the point that she's trying to make is, like I said earlier, predators study their prey. Predators always get the drop because they spend all day studying you. You're going to work, living your life, doing your thing. That being said, yes, there are technically solutions for everything, but everything is based on size, strength, reaction. Sometimes they don't always match up. You ever seen two people fight? One person whips one person, and then that person fights another person, gets beat by the guy you beat, but you couldn't beat him. It's a weird triangle. So I think that's kind of the point that she's proving. And you have to remember, man, we're talking about smaller, not quite as strong. What you got, Mimi?
This is the thing, and I'm going to say this and leave it right there. If you are grabbed from behind, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to make you think that we're about to get down, and I'm going to make you think that you about to get some shit you ain't never had in your life. But see them two balls underneath that dick? I know, don't cringe, guys. I would bite the shit out of that. You ain't even thinking about me no more in life. I am history to you. All you thinking about is the pain that you are going to be caused by what the fuck I'm about to do to you. So this, there has to be a reverse psychology, because if you grab me from behind and you don't put me to sleep, and there's not that extra alcohol bullshit, all this other shit that puts you to sleep, oh, we about to.
I mean, I'll say this. I don't know, but and again, we could go around and around and speculate all day. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to say, since the beginning of man, billions among billions of women have been assaulted. So clearly, there is something to that and something not to that. And I don't want to test the theory. I just know, again, for people who study a particular art form, you realize if you get the drop on somebody, even a well-trained somebody, you got the drop on them. So to be, again, like I said, I help coach women all the time. No, everyone in my school probably comes up to my chest.
Right.
Most of the women in there are under 5'5".
And that's the thing. At my age now, and I'm 5'2", I think about that now. But there is the 5 to 10-year-olds, the 13-year-olds, the ones in their 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, the ones that don't even know, can't even imagine that this is something that would happen to them. So
But you
I
have
get it.
right. You're right. But the point that I'm making, you have to be vigilant. If you're
Yes.
expecting trouble, if you expect something, then you can be a little more vigilant. But for instance, okay, before I moved out here, I lived in KC my whole life, obviously 40 plus years. I spent 13 years being a bouncer. I'm not the biggest guy in the room. Why is it that I managed to get through that fairly unscathed? You have to be
Right.
prepared for something. Now, the one thing I learned about women is when women actually fight, you fuckers fight to the death. Guys will fight, get tired, and be like, hey, let's go get a beer. Fuck this. Women, y'all fight to the death. You go out for blood, if you know. But the thing is, and that's like wildcat, and you wildcat. But my thing is, if you learn how to contain it, look, I can take your hands in between one hand and put your wrist in here and hold you up above my head, and you're helpless. So imagine if someone wants to do that and stretch you out over, and I mean, I don't want to get it's crazy. But the point is, we all know what we think we would do.
Right.
But like, I can walk outside and get jumped right now. Now, can I hold my own against someone? Yes. If I walk out to my car and get jumped by two guys, I'm off guard. I'm probably going to have a hell of a time. So I can only imagine, like I said, the majority of the women that come in and want to train and do self-defense have had something go down. Most are pretty small. And by small standards, I mean, like you said, you're under 5'5", 5'3", 5'4", 5'2". So what are you going to do against someone, myself, who's shade under 6 feet, George, who's 6'4" and a half, 6'5"? Nothing. The answer is nothing. But if you're prepared for something, you have a better fighting chance. But there's a lot of factors and elements involved in that. And I don't want to get into that and try to make it seem like I have the answer for everything. But it is more of a solution when you have more bullets in your holster than when you just have one. If your only bullet is to yell, but the music is loud, guess what? You're assed out. If your only bullet is to scream and fight and scratch, and someone's got your hands and all that, you're assed out. You have to have options. And that's the only reason I'm imploring people to say, hey, listen, there are things that you can do, even if you get put in a position where you're underneath someone heavier, where you can free yourself. But you have to train for that. I have a young man who's going to be a cop, young brother, 26 years old. He's like 6'5", he's like 320. I'm neither of those things. I'm not 6'5", 320, and I'm not 26. How you deal with that is you learn how to use people's weight and momentum, et cetera, against them. I won't get into it. The point that I'm making is, if you look at you ladies, you're always at a disadvantage with us. So learn to use someone's size, weight, etc. against them. But you cannot do that by talking shit and wishing. And I'm only saying that harshly to you guys because I need you guys to become active. Aid in your own rescue. That means get uncomfortable, go somewhere, learn some things that may save your life. And it's uncomfortable because you don't want somebody next to you or sweating you or in your 3 feet. Guess what? You don't want that. Voluntarily, involuntarily, learn how to work against that. So I'm just imploring everybody, please reach out. You'd be amazed at how many schools offer free or very, very discounted self-defense strictly for women, because we know this is what happens. We know it. So I'm going to leave it at that. And again, for the 20,000th time, please call somebody. Call me. Call somebody. We'll make phone calls. We'll figure it out. And don't be like, hey, I wasn't an athlete in school, I'm not going to do that, I'm too old, because I'm too old and I'm out there doing that shit all the time. You have to stretch yourself. You have to be uncomfortable in order to be comfortable. That's really the A and the B of it. If you want to be confident walking down the street, not worry about looking over your back, not being in fear, you have to figure out a way to counteract anything that may come. It's just Newton's law, really. So like I said, yeah, it's been, I really feel good about, what we've gone into tonight. I know we've helped at least one person. I know it's more, but all I give a shit about is one. If we helped one person, guys, we did so much tonight. So to my ladies, like I said, I know this is heavy. I can't really relate in terms of that, but thank you for sharing your story, because this shit is heavy. But if I can walk away with anything positive, it's the fact that you guys aren't alone. You got us, you got me, you got G. We travel. So shit, you could tell me right now, look, I'm going to the grocery store, I'm not comfortable. I fly to Arizona or fucking Atlanta and go to the store with you, and then if I got the time off from work, George, you know how it is. I'm from that I wish a motherfucker would tribe.
Right.
I'm going to protect you guys. I love I love my sisters too much, so you ain't got to worry about that shit with me.
We
That's
love
the real.
Roger. We're gonna put Roger on a temporary timeout, right quick.
You probably should.
Well, we love you and thank you, Roger. That was awesome to share, and it was awesome to share your friend's story. So, thank you so much.
No doubt.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank her.
And
We'll do that for you.
I apologize that I had to jump in. Because I never told anyone what happened to me, so it was tough.
We totally understand, sis, and that was really brave of you as well. It's brave of all of us to be able to come out and tell our stories, because this is not an easy subject matter. But at the end of the day, we know that it's a subject that has to be talked about.
Yeah, don't ever apologize, baby. Don't ever apologize.
Yes.
Don't ever apologize for being you. Don't apologize for still being here. Don't apologize for pushing forward. And and to go back to what I said earlier, when I talked to my friend, I go, you are some kind of amazing. The fact that any of y'all, so I'm talking about you three because I know you three. The fact that you still have the ability to say, yes, I still have love for men. I still have the ability and the desire to want to have this relationship, etc. Y'all are stronger and more amazing than you know. But don't ever apologize for that shit. Don't ever apologize for how you feel or what you went through, because that's not you. Like none of us get responsible for being here. You see what I mean?
Right.
But you're still here, so you hold your head up. Like I said, and if you feel like you're stumbling, we're going to pick you up. I promise you we're going to pick you up. That's what I mean by you're valuable. You got to know you're valuable. You're absolutely valuable. Matter of fact, you guys make yourself more valuable to us because of what you're talking about and what you're sharing. I promise you, your stock ain't going to go down, sweetheart. Your stock
that shit done went up, but I'm good.
That's all I'm saying. I know it's tough, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. It is.
I can't explain that enough. That I appreciate it because, you guys, you just gave somebody strength. They may reach out, they may not, but you guys you empowered some woman out there who may look at you and go, oh man, she reminds me of me, or I went through that, or we're the same height. I don't care. But I promise you may have just saved somebody from going over the edge. So if that's any consolation, just know that by being brave enough, and they're going, look, these guys are here every week. So their platform in the world sees them. So the fact that you guys were able to do that in front of the world, I guarantee you're gonna give somebody the strength to make a phone call, go to counseling, talk about it. You gotta consider yourself a superhero for the day. You have to. I need you to do that. For real. I mean, I'm impressed. I really am. So, oh yeah.
This has been an intense show. This has been an intense topic. I didn't expect it to affect me the way that it did, and I guess it's time. I think we all have our demons that we have to wrestle with, and that's just not just with this topic, but just in life in general. And sometimes it is good to talk about it. So for me, the best takeaway would be to talk about it and get self-defense, without a doubt. That's the best advice that I could give anyone, is to get self-defense.
The best advice that I'll give anyone is to get an AK-47.
Ooh, I like that too.
AR-15.
Yeah.
easier to build. We'll talk about it later.
Get an XD45. It's smaller, easier to handle, packs the same punch.
And now that we've had a lesson on weaponry from CBN, disclaimer again, Jesus. And none of us are part of NRA. Nope. But yeah, you said it best. You know, that's really the best. Take your life back. Take your power back. The more when you discuss things and when you talk about them and you put them out there in the universe, you take away other people's power. You know how people, if you do something stupid and you tell everybody, it's called stealing their thunder. So like if I fall and trip in front of everybody and then I jump up and go, damn, I'm stupid, I tripped. Now nobody can embarrass me because I told all of you guys what I did. It's kind of the same thing. I'm not saying you have to tell everybody you meet, but you go, look, you know what? That's old shit. It's in the universe. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows I'm dealing with it. Everybody knows I'm okay and I've made it forward. You just took that person's power away. And at worst, you made them scared because you're speaking on it. See, when it's a deep, dark secret, they're like, oh, you're afraid. When you go, no, boom, this is what happens. People start doing this and looking around. And that person, a coward dies 1,000 deaths. So the fact that you guys open your mouth and say, hey, when I was 12, when I was 21, they know who you're talking about. And other people do too. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. You just put a dagger in whoever did that shit. I'm telling you guys. So for that again, we got to thank you. You did it again.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for the after show. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed it. We will see everybody back next week, same time, same station, when we talk about When Pretty Hurts. So look forward to that. So you guys, what can I say? Enjoy the rest of your work week. Hopefully you've had motivation, you've had a lot of conversation, and we've had some fun. But sadly, our time is done. So I will see you guys. Again, thank you, everyone, for staying with us through the after show. We appreciate you.
Yeah. I don't say this often, but shit, y'all wore me out. Hey, love y'all, man. Take care of yourselves, for real. We'll be back. Whatever we need to have happen, it'll happen. Y'all be cool. See you next week.
Yes.
One love. God bless. And George?
See you next week. Peace, love, and hair grease.